Good morning. Welcome to What? Where I actually got some sleep last night. Yes, I'm so excited. I feel normal today, finally. I think it was just like all the hubbub over Halloween and stuff. So now that's all over and it's November. It's all like family time now, like where, you have to go and hang out with family soon and shit. So now I get to relax, chill, maybe clean up the house. I don't even know. I feel like I've got so much time on my hands now for some strange reason. So good morning, everyone. Uh, let's see who's all in here. I know I've seen Dolores. You guys go give Brandy and Dolores a subscribe over on their YouTube channel. It's right there. It's called Around the World with Brandy and D. So go give them a subscribe over to their channel. They are awesome. They just started their show yesterday, which was really, really interesting. I got to stay on and hang out and chill there and listen for about an hour, and it's really good. Yesterday we had a lot of shows going on. Hardlands Media, Chicago Corner, just everybody was most everybody was on last night. It was like hard to actually do work for today because I was watching so many people's shows last night, which I love it. It's cool because now it's like, we're all getting our like own little time slots. Kind of, it reminds me of like back in the day where you used to have your own little shows to watch throughout the day on TV, but now it's like, the people that you know and the people that you talk to. So, and the people that you watch on a regular. So it's really, really interesting. It was a lot of fun yesterday. I had an absolute blast. So hopefully we can do it again some other time. Most likely today. I know Hardlands Media is going to be on today. So, that's how that's going to go. So let's say hello to everyone else. Good morning, Amber. Good to see you. Probably on your way to work. Good morning, Miguel. Good morning, Warren. Good to see you this morning. Les Bones. What's up, dude? Hi, Holly. Oh, okay, everyone's here. Good morning. And Brandy. And and the person I can't put up again because your name. Ah! You gotta switch out the accounts or something, and then I can hook you up with putting your comment up there. But I morally feel like I cannot do that. I'm sorry. Maybe one day I'll like get you to change your name or something, and then we can be friends. Okay. So what's been going on? I downloaded a new game yesterday, played it a little bit. It was a lot of fun. It's a PC game. It's called Grounded. I know a lot of us are like a little bit, on the older side. So if you guys remember the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kid, and all the people, like all those kids were out in the yard and they had to pretty much fend for themselves and, trying to get back to the house and stuff. It's pretty much the same thing, except, you're not trying to get back to the house. You're pretty much just stuck there and you've got to build your own everything, like from, a house to areas that aren't going to be attacked by bugs and stuff. So I started playing that yesterday. It was a lot of fun. Absolutely terrifying. I found a new fear that I have apparently is giant bugs. I had no idea that I could have a fear of bugs because I love bugs. I have no fear of any kind of bugs. Bugs really don't scare me too much. I even have like, I'll have like outside of my backyard, I'll have a pet spider or something, like a random, wild spider, usually like a tunnel weaving spider because they'll stay in their little tunnel, their little hole tunnel. So I got little spider friends, and I'm usually not afraid of them, but man, this game, I haven't even gotten to the spider part yet. I was watching YouTube videos and I'm like, you're telling me I gotta fight wolf spiders? Like, come on now. I don't even like wolf spiders in my own house. Like, that's where I draw the line because some of these wolf spiders, man, they get fucking huge. They're big. So I'm like not looking forward to it. But the game was fun. I started building some stuff, started making, crafting weapons that I need to, survive. And I'm just at the beginning. I barely even got started on the game. And I've already died twice now. I died of hunger because I still don't know how to get into my inventory on the game. Like, I have no idea. I know I've killed a few bugs here and there in the game, so I should have some food. But good Lord, I don't know how to get in my inventory in the game yet. So I'm still super amateur. And yeah, I can't figure that out. And then like water, you have to drink water. And I tend to go over to the dirty water, which makes me hungry faster. So I keep ruining myself. And then I decided, well, like I was like killing some bugs here and there, and like I killed an ant or two, and I was like super stoked. I was like, oh my God, I fucking killed an ant. Like he was big, I could kill some things. So I saw a ladybug and I'm like, ooh, I could kill the ladybug. Let's see if I could try to do this. And the ladybug wasn't even messing with me. He was a sweet little ladybug. And I hit him and he fucked me up bad, quick too, like 2 hits and I was done. That motherfucker just ruined me. So I didn't get near the ladybugs anymore. So, and then there's like these little I guess they're termites or something. I don't know, they're like these little red bugs and there's just tons of them. And they're little assholes. They're trying to kill me and they're like everywhere. Into the area that I'm at now where I stopped, that's like where there's like a bunch of those termite things. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a game about being shrunk down and being really small. And you're just pretty much trying to survive in this area. And it just gets harder and harder. More and more bugs show up, lots of things. And it's multiplayer. So, if anyone has the game, definitely I started playing it, so it would be a lot of fun to play with other people because it is multiplayer. So that's what I did yesterday. Is I got some gaming done. Other than that, I haven't really done much. I was just finding some things for today. There's a lot of interesting things going on. It's like I don't know. It's just weird to like get the news from you guys and then get into it and start reading it and then like try to find some more stuff, and like mainstream news just doesn't cover anything, and it's just wild to me that I see this every day, and I'm starting to catch up on news ahead of other news things, and it's just weird to me to see that like I cover this but then the mainstream media doesn't cover it at all. So yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, like a lot of people have been talking about like the Obama heckler, but I know that I've got like a little bit of extra stuff that I want to talk about. The kind of hypocrisy when it comes to him giving the speeches, things like that. The whole Kanye West situation has been absolutely crazy. Fiorella posted something yesterday about a guy. I think his name is Nikolai. Ended up passing away. Found him right after he had sent a very, very interesting tweet. Doing some work down there. So I was figuring I might cover that. I saw that yesterday. Fee was super, super covering it. So, and I didn't realize that I wasn't following her. So I decided to give Fee a follow yesterday while I was going through all of that. And then Pompeo being sued by Spain. You guys were talking about that yesterday. So I decided to look some of that up to see what was going on with that. Cory Booker being bugged at a coffee shop was fucking hilarious yesterday. Obviously, supporting Ukraine, and then talking about like how China is obviously getting really involved with Russia and taking sides with Russia. And then yesterday, one of the three Migos was shot and killed over a dice game. His name was Takeoff. Which is the Migos, the Three Migos is a rapper group. And I'm just learning a little bit. I mean, I knew who the Migos were. I just didn't know that those three guys were related. So there's Takeoff, Quavo, and Offset. And I guess they're all like, one's a cousin, one's like a brother, I think, or something like that. So Takeoff was the one that passed away yesterday. He's the youngest one, and I guess he is the cousin of Offset. Offset is the most popular guy in the Migos because he is married to Cardi B. So that's that whole situation. We'll probably be talking about that. You love Fee, yeah, I absolutely. I'm getting to know a little bit more about her. I respected seeing when she went over to move to Russia. I kind of like gained a lot of respect for her for doing that kind of stuff. And then I saw her on the RT news, which was really, really cool to see. Definitely interesting, and getting a lot of respect for her while I learn a lot about her as well. So yeah, she's awesome. Cool. Like I said, still learning a lot about her. I think I'm in a private message with her and Shane, and I think I'm supposed to be doing an interview with her. I don't know. It's some girl. I can't remember which girl I'm supposed to be doing it with. It might have been Misty. I'm not sure. there's a lot of girls, a lot of us girls doing some good work, so it's hard to keep up with what everybody's doing. But yeah, it's looking like the UK had something to do with blowing up Nord Stream. Yeah, I think I was watching, was it the Rochford? No, not Rochford Files. Redacted. The new Redacted, not Lee Camp's Redacted, but the other one that we were watching, which I'm starting to notice those guys, like I've been watching them just recently since I started doing my show. And these guys are like, this guy and his wife are super conservative. I had no freaking idea. I mean, they've got some really good, pointers on some certain things when it comes to like what's going on with Russia and stuff. I had no idea that they were like all about like the gold standard and stuff. I watched one of their videos the other day and I was like, oh, you're gold people. Okay, I get it. What's up, Josh? Good to see you over on Twitch. Thank you for stopping by over there. Trying to grow that area too. You guys want to check out my Twitch? It's right here. It's the Image Productions. Trying to get at least up to 100 followers over there so we can start getting some kind of donation area. So, but what's up, Josh? Sorry for ignoring you all yesterday in Fortnite. Hope you all had fun. Definitely not interested in any of the new Star Wars bullshit that's in there. So I started playing a new game called Grounded. I know you got a PC, bro. If you got PC and you want to download the game Grounded, which is like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, I started playing that yesterday. So there you go, Miguel. Thank you. Get that Bezos money. That's right. Fuck Bezos. I'm just gonna take all of his money. He don't need it. He don't need it. He'll need it. Fuck him. Les Bones, good to see you. Yes, Migos did Bad and Bougie. Yep, absolutely. Migos, they did like the Goosebumps song. Man, no wait, no, that's Goosebumps is I always get what is it, Kylie Jenner's husband or man mixed up with Cardi B's husband's music. So yes, but Bad and Bougie is I think the one of the most popular songs that Takeoff did. So yeah, and Takeoff apparently was the quiet guy, didn't do too much. He was, just the shy, quiet one, didn't like want to start much. So it's really crazy how that ended up happening. There is video. I'm probably going to play a little bit of it, the beforehand, like the arguing part, because TMZ kind of released a little bit too much. And then the rest of the internet kind of showed the rest of it. And YouTube just can't, you're not allowed to see the rest of it on YouTube, apparently, obviously, because there's, blood and stuff. So cannot do that. Look at Miguel, you're like everywhere. You're on YouTube and on Twitch, keeping it, holding down the fort on both ends. Miguel is a superhero today. Okay, you checked it out last time. I'm telling you, I downloaded it yesterday. I played it for like an hour and a half. That shit's fun as fuck, but it's fucking scary. It's super scary. I was just telling everybody I got killed by a ladybug. Like, can you fucking believe that? You get killed by a ladybug. How sad is that? Miguel, yes, please use the Twitch stickers. I love the Twitch stickers. They're my favorite. I can't wait to get my own and make my own. I have made a few of them, but I don't know if like you're able to use them on there. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure all that out. It would be so much easier if I could just stream from Twitch. That way it's just all there for me and I don't have to worry about it. Kind of like what Nikki does. Nikki does like she streams from Twitch. So like all that, the cool setup where you've got, the screen here and she's down here in the corner and the chat's like over here on the side going through. That's all Twitch. Like Twitch does that for her. So that's super cool. I wish I could do that. That would be awesome. But we got StreamYard, so I can't do that. Good morning, everyone. I've got 12 people watching me right now, and I'm super sweaty. Usually I got like 4 or 5 people watching. So it's very interesting and very nerve-wracking. Another thing I did this morning, was watching Merrick DeVille. Apparently she I noticed that she hasn't been doing any live streams recently. So I noticed that apparently she went to the what is it, like the crazy hospital, the insane asylum or whatever you want to call it. She got locked down for a few days, which sucks. So I was watching that this morning. Kids back at school. I guess they got 2 days off of school on Monday and Tuesday. So I don't know how that happened, but we got unlucky with that, and now she's back. So I guess I can get started on some stuff. We can start off with the takeoff thing. Even though it's at the bottom of my list and it's more of a fun thing, but still it's definitely really sad to see what happened. Okay. Share screen. Oh my gosh, dude, my screen does some weird stuff now and it's so scary. It like blacks out, like the whole screen just goes black and that's it. And it's terrifying. Okay. So here's the story about what happened. Yeah, RIP Takeoff. I know it's really sad. Here's the story. So Quavo got into an argument with a group of men outside of a bowling alley in Houston prior to the gun being fired and then hitting Takeoff. So in the early hours of Tuesday morning, devastating news surfaced out of Houston that Takeoff was shot and killed. This is said to have occurred around 2:30 a.m. outside of a billiards and bowling, Houston. Quavo and Takeoff were initially said to have been playing dice when the gunshots soon fired after an altercation. As a result, Takeoff was shot near his head and died at the scene. According to TMZ, new developments are being revealed as to what may have caused this shooting. Quavo was reportedly arguing with a group of men, and Takeoff was reportedly supporting him in that moment. There appeared to be some argument about basketball, as Quavo said, "I don't get down like that." Soon, shots were fired, and everyone in that area scattered. Quavo wasn't shot as initially suspected, and that's when footage and photos soon went viral of Takeoff on the floor in his final moments. 2 guns are said to have been fired, with 10 shots being released in total. A 23-year-old male and a 23-year-old female were shot as well and were treated at a local hospital. Takeoff is said to have been quiet for most of his night, this night, but by alleged people in attendance at the bowling alley. He didn't appear to be targeted, but just caught in the crossfire. So last month, Quavo and Takeoff also released their Only Built for Infinity Links album together that went on debut at #2 in the US and was released in the midst of Migos breakup speculation. Quavo argued with group of men before Takeoff shooting. So I've got to stop it pretty much like right about here because this is where the shots go and you're not supposed to see any of this, but you can kind of see like here where the screenshot is. So there's Takeoff. This is the guy that passed. And then there's Quavo. He was the one that was the argument. And then if you, I guess you can't see my cursor. So to the left of where it says Takeoff is where Quavo is standing. And here you'll be able to see it. So there's Takeoff. And there's Quavo. Okay, I have to stop it right there. So it looks like somebody threw a punch. I mean, I don't know who was wearing those black shoes, but obviously it looks like somebody threw a punch first. That actually I hadn't seen before. That's interesting. So yeah, it definitely looked like an altercation or a fight broke out. Man, whoever's got this Chucky doll is like right in the way of me being able to see this fool's clothes. Okay, I think that's his shoes right there. He's got white shoes, black pants, maybe jeans. I mean, that's Takeoff right there. So he wasn't even in the altercation or in the fight. Okay, so it wasn't Quavo. Well, maybe that was Quavo that threw the first punch. I mean, the shoes right there kind of match. I don't know. But another part that we saw was, or that came out, was I believe it was the 911 call. Sorry, I'm blanking. Okay, so the 911 call, I think, is what's right here.
Sergeant firearms or shooting, not sure which. Just Jacinto at Dallas. Caller heard gunshots and people screaming.
28-year-old rapper Takeoff is shot and killed at a private party in Houston, Texas. Officials say it happened in the early morning hours of November 1st at a bowling alley in the city's downtown. Officials say Takeoff, whose real name is Kershnik Kari Ball, was shot in the head or neck. He was pronounced dead at the scene. In emergency audio released after the shooting, dispatchers can be heard saying 5 shots were fired.
There's 5 shots fired from downstairs outside near 2004.
Officials with the Houston Police Department say between 40 and 50 people were at the private party that ended at about 1 o'clock in the morning. More than an hour later, at 2:40 a.m., dispatch received a call about the deadly shooting.
The people next door are calling in about discharging firearms.
According to TMZ, Takeoff and fellow Migos rapper Quavo were playing dice when a fight broke out. After that, someone opened fire. Quavo was not injured, but 2 other people were. Police say they were taken to nearby hospitals in private vehicles. Right now, their conditions are unknown.
He's going to check out 22B23 1212 Grand Plaza for discharging firearms.
Investigators on the scene found multiple shell casings on the 3rd level of the building outside of the bowling and pool hall. From here, investigators say they will look at surveillance video of the scene to determine what led up to the shooting. Takeoff and the group Migos rose to fame after their 2013 hit Versace was released. Takeoff was the youngest member of the group. Quavo was his uncle, and 3rd member Offset was his cousin. For the latest,
there you go. So uncle, cousins, so they were all related in a way. And I think he was only like 28 years old, so it's really, really sad. It looked like he wasn't even a part of it. Like he had nothing to do with. He was obviously just backing up his cousin or uncle, whichever one that was. But yeah, he was 28. Okay.
His tweets about
so there was more people talking on Twitter about it, and so this person actually got some tweets about what had happened, and about the rapper himself.
his tweets about Takeoff's death with SMS screenshots of the full story. According to a certain Ice Money, Quavo was shooting dice and he was getting his pockets broke off bad. So dude had an attitude and tried getting aggressive with the wrong mob ties. The person refused to drop names, but said everybody bunched up, then shots just start ringing. But they were coming from somebody Migos was with, but he was shooting wild and hit Takeoff by accident. The others returned the shots and Takeoff allegedly got hit again by one of the people he was with. That was the time the supposed witness saw Takeoff's body drop. The person also described Takeoff as the coolest and quietest in the room the whole time. He wasn't saying a word, just chilling in the cut. He didn't even know what was going on. He just jumped up and got shot out of nowhere. Was with, but he was shooting wild.
So shots started ringing. They were coming out from somebody Migos was with, and he was shooting wild. Hit Takeoff on accident, and then they started shooting back. He got hit again, but ultimately, they're saying that his own people were the ones that had shot him because it was by accident. Which would suck and would probably mean or make sense as to why nobody's coming forward about it, is because it was probably by accident by his own person, which is really sad. Bunched up, shots started ringing. Yeah, they were just shooting dice. And it looks like Quavo was losing money. The guy got a little a little attitude, fight started, guns got brought out, and he got shot by accident. It's really, really sad. 28 years old. Very close to, the whole conspiracies about famous people losing their lives at 27. There's like this whole curse thing, I guess, about it. Is it like 27 or 28 years old or something? So it feels like, another one of those curse things that happen. I believe who's like all those people that are like those famous people that die really young, like that was like Marilyn Monroe, James Dean, Jimi Hendrix, uh, Kurt Cobain, the girl that sings the Try to Make Me Go to Rehab song, girl. So yeah, Kurt Cobain. So it just feels like it's another one of those, those cursed deaths to me. That's how it feels. Yeah, Janis Joplin too. Amy Winehouse. Yes, that's her name. Janis Joplin. Yeah. So there's all these kind of curses, and it feels like, that's probably just another one of, another one of those curses that happen. It's really, really sad. I hope, he rests in peace. I hope that Quavo and Offset are, mourning and dealing with it the way that they can. It's definitely, definitely going to be listening. A lot of people are going to be listening to their music now. They're going to do really good now because of this kind of thing too. So, which isn't a great thing to do, but usually when, people have people that pass away in things like that, their popularity goes up as well. Kind of like what was it? Like the Ariana Grande, there was like that whole bomb thing at her concert, and then that's what got her to go big. So, hopefully they're all, like I said, I hope they're all mourning. I hope he rests in peace. I hope that, this can stop. Definitely need to chill out on gun ownage. Obviously, I'm okay with using guns. I have, my husband has a gun or two, but like the amount of guns that are just out there, it just seems like there's just too much, too easy. It's starting to feel like the wild, wild west again. And I feel super, super uncomfortable. Tupac, there we go. Selena, yep, exactly. That's another crazy one too, is Selena, because I was a kid when that happened. And I didn't even know who Selena was until after that happened. So yeah, Tupac, same thing. There's a lot of them, and it always makes you want to put on that tinfoil hat. Always, always, always want to put on that tinfoil hat. Why? What was the point? Is their celebrity status going to go up because of it? It's crazy, but it's really sad too what happened. And cut. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. That's all I have for the takeoff one. So we can do the fee one. Yeah, let's do that. So yesterday, Fee was like up in a hoopla and tweeting all kinds of stuff about this interesting thing. Yeah, speaking of tinfoil hats. So yesterday, here we go. Window. Okay. Yesterday she tweeted out, right, and cut. Sorry. It's to remind myself that's where I'm going to cut when I clip the videos later today. Yesterday Fee was all over Twitter, just posting all kinds of stuff about this guy, and I thought it was very, very interesting what has happened. Definitely putting on the tinfoil hat for this one, but a lot of this stuff happens so much that it's almost like, how can you even call it a tinfoil hat? Because it happens. Like, it really does happen. You guys were just saying it yesterday in the comment section. I always forget his damn name. He's the dude that like was wearing the American flag shirt and shorts, and they offed him. Or the the Panama Papers. What happened to that lady? So this stuff happens. So Yesterday, she tweeted, breaking, confirmed, Nikolai Arkady, the Michigan co-founder of Popular Decentralized Finance, stablecoin issuer MakerDAO, was found dead on a beach in Condado, Puerto Rico last week. The last tweet he posted on his account accused the CIA and Mossad of running a sex trafficking ring. I better stay off the FBI watch list after this. But if I'm not, then you know what? I guess welcome myself to the party. CIA, and then so this is his last tweet that he put out. CIA and Mossad and pedo elites are running some kind of sex trafficking, entrapment, blackmail ring out of Puerto Rico and Caribbean islands. They're going to frame me with a laptop planted by my ex-girlfriend who was a spy. They will torture me to death. So, according to local Puerto Rican media, he was found drowned on a beach behind Ashford Hospital in Condado, Puerto Rico. The police report says they were alerted at 9:15 a.m., and it looks like he was pulled by the currents. This beach is known for having dangerous and strong currents. His tweets are filled with suggestions of torture and blackmail from they, quote unquote, they, which many are taking to mean those in power. He believed his girlfriend to be a spy that would set him up. He was not known well publicly, even in the crypto space. So this is his tweet from September 23rd saying, after this had people in the industry confide, they got baited into shit and now are being extorted. Nobody cares about your mistakes. Let it kill your ego. It's good for you. And if it's actually some criminal shit, just pretend to be stupid. Drag your feet. Don't help them. You've been to Condado Beach, Puerto Rico? Oh, shit. That's scary. So then she says the latest tweet isn't the first time he hinted at being persecuted. Here, he also suggests possible death by the CIA. So on September 4th, he states 3 possible futures for him: suicide by CIA, CIA brain damage slave asset, or 3 worst nightmare of people who fucked with me up until now. I am sure these are the only options. And then she continues, says, here's another one where he talks about praying for God to guide to the top of the food chain God to guide the top of food chain national security feds and their ancient karmic laws of banking handlers to come demolish this Illuminati role play circle jerk. Wait, what did he say? Imagine how evil someone has. This is September 24th. Imagine how evil someone has to be to transform me from anti-state crypto anarchist of 12 years to someone who prays to God to guide the top of the food chain national security feds and their ancient karmic laws of banking handlers to come demolish this Illuminati role play circle jerk. All right. And then she continues, okay, here's the article on it. I have a English version, I believe. Then she continues, whether he was on drugs hasn't been confirmed. While I'm just relaying the facts and not drawing any conclusions, one could see the circumstances are indeed strange. Worth noting, he died 5 days after the MakerDAO community approved custodian partnership with Coinbase. On October 29th, Craig Sellers says Nikolai, 29 years old, stablecoin innovator, BitShares contributor, co-founder, has died in San Juan 5 days after community approves custodian partnership with Coinbase. So here's his Twitter right here. Obviously, it's still up. This is him right here. So if you look, here is his last tweet that he was saying about his girlfriend being a spy and that they will torture him. Just some things he's tweeted. Pretty much his tweets are still up if you want to find him on here and see what's going on with him. His name is @delete_shitcoin. So here's the article about him. So they're saying that a 29-year-old coder that some describe as the MakerDAO co-founder and a stablecoins innovator has been swept away by sea currents on the beach behind Ashford Hospital. The police report, according to local media. How are you not going to let me read it, but you let me read it last night, you son of a bitch? That's not nice. Can I get this in English? Yeah. 29-year-old man dies, dragged by currents on Condado Beach. He died Friday morning after being swept away by sea currents on the beach behind Ashford Hospital. Rescue personnel managed to rescue his body, which no longer showed vital signs. It was reported, according to the authorities. The victim was a resident of San Juan. Agent Rosario, assigned to the Isla Verde tourist precinct, was in charge of the complaint. That's all you got for me? Man, I swear I could be an article writer. I could do it. I could totally be an article writer. How short that shit is. Like when you read that stuff or when you look at that stuff, you think the articles are going to be huge. Some more tweets from this guy. Sunday night conditions met surprise discovery, new opportunity, now all in on timeline shifting, insanity index, quantum immortality for human civilization. I bet that there's no future where negative sum banker global slaves agenda doesn't end in extinction. Wish me luck. Here's a picture of tree that fell on my house. Clipped this side of the roof. Figured it's too bizarre not to give some proof. Also, a little peek at my workstation. Probably not related to that disabled lock day before. If CI has 0 days against trees, it's truly over. This guy's crazy. Oh, no. After multiple cycles of figurative death and rebirth, they literally do not care if I am shot or thrown in jail for someone else's massive fuck-ups as long as certain basic mechanisms I came up with are not suppressed knowledge. The era of debt slavery is over. Well, this is definitely interesting. You could tell he got not like he's paranoid, but it does go hand in hand with these like crypto people is paranoia. But there is some truth to these because these things do happen. But he's like going into like the death and the rebirth and oh my gosh, debt slavery. You can tell he doesn't know too much about MMT and how our economy and the money works. Usually the crypto guys don't really care about how the economy actually works. So it kind of goes hand in hand. Yeah, that's about it on this guy. Thought that was a pretty interesting thing to read. Definitely got some people up in a hoopla about all of that. Definitely interesting to see, if this guy drowned or, if there was, something, or even if there's anything that's going to come out of it, period. I'm pretty sure there's probably not going to be too much coming out of it anyways. Good morning, John. Good to see you. Hope you're having a well morning. And cut. I'm just going to do this every time. And cut. Okay. I want to get this one out of the way because it's people have already been talking about it. I'm probably a little bit past the I'm pretty past being on it being a hot topic. Because, as you know, everybody's already talking about the Obama heckler. Jesus Christ, why is it when I open things up? Okay. But I have found some really, 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 really interesting information. So I want to go through a couple of the different views of what happened with the guy who was the anti-war protester. I believe it was in Michigan. Yeah, Michigan. In Detroit when Obama had his speech. I thought that there was some really cool information that, from what everybody's saying, nobody else is talking about this part, at least, and the hypocrisy of his actions and what he says when he gets it's not even heckled, like when he gets interrupted in two different areas and how he takes it in two different ways. It's like, don't interrupt me unless it's something that I like, and it's super, super frustrating to see it. But I want to be able to show at least what they're, this is what they're talking about too. So this is what this one is saying.
Just civility, acting right, including in our politics, our democratic norms. We've got politicians who work to stir up division, to try to make us angry and afraid of one another for their own advantage. And all of it gets amped up, hyped up 24/7 by social media.
Now, while he's talking, I want you guys to check out like this lady right here. Hold on. Behind him, you'll see behind him, there's a lady with a pink shirt on with a pink headband, like a bandana. And just keep an eye on her. Because this is where I believe he starts getting attacked, like, there it is. So like right about here.
Dressed in tactical gear. More people can get hurt. And we're going to be violating the basic spirit of this country. Yes. So, sir, wait, come on. But this is what I mean. This is what I mean. I mean, we're having a conversation. Come on. So.
The chanting over him with the Obama chants and the booing, like, this is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Look, there's a process that we set up in our democracy. Right now, I'm talking. You'll have a chance to talk sometime soon.
When will that guy have his chance to talk? Ever? Is he ever going to have his chance to talk? Because I'm pretty sure everybody's been screaming from the rooftops. At least regular thinking minded people are screaming from the rooftops that they don't want the fucking war. And you guys just keep ignoring him and keep giving a fucking Ukraine a blank check. So please tell me, Obama, when he's going to have his chance to talk, because from what I've been seeing on all these things, you guys won't even give him the opportunity to show and to show what he said and to hear what he said, at least on mainstream media. That Jose Vega guy got it, but mainstream media don't give a fuck. All right, continue.
You don't have to shout each other down. It's not a good way to do business. It's not, you wouldn't do that at a workplace. If you wouldn't just interrupt people in the middle of a conversation. It's not how we do things.
Oh, so now there needs to be politeness when it comes to rallies and stuff, right? So remember him saying that we need to be polite. It's not how you run a business. You wouldn't do that in your job. So, remember that. Remember that part.
Just basic civility and courtesy works. And that's what we want to try to encourage.
Right. He wants to try to encourage basic civility, blah, blah, blah. What he was just saying, you wouldn't do this at your workplace. So this is what the guy was actually saying. I know we've probably heard this tons of times already, and I'm really sorry, but I have to.
You overthrew the legitimate Ukraine in 2014. Tell us about your plans for nuclear war with Russia. Stop provoking nuclear war with Russia. You're going to kill us with nuclear war. Russia's the enemy. Russia is not the enemy. Stop getting us into nuclear war with Russia. No nuclear
You hear that person? They said Russia is the enemy. Do you hear that person saying that? like the way that the Democrats have brainwashed regular people into being okay with going into war with a country is absolutely nuts. Literally 10 to 15 years ago, those same people would be like, I'm done, let's get us out of Afghanistan, we need to stop these wars. It's crazy to me how much they've just, like, everything is flipped, and those people are now brainwashed into it. It's like the Democrats and the Republicans flipped in the last 20 years.
Mr. President, there's more people that are going to get hurt if we go into nuclear war. Right now, we're on the verge of nuclear war thanks to what you did in Ukraine in 2014. Why won't you tell the truth about what you did to overthrow Ukraine in 2014? Will you tell the truth? Will you tell the truth?
There is a process that we set up in our democracy.
Yeah, but we're on the verge of nuclear war.
He's not lying. We are on the verge of nuclear war. So, he ain't lying.
About the lives of your supporters? Will you tell the truth before the world walks into world war? The coup of 2014 is on your doorstep. You were the one that allowed your radical. You respect the lives of your own supporters. Will you tell the truth to us, or will you give back your peace rights?
That's wild how they treated that guy. Like, there's him just trying to come up or ask him legitimate questions about war and nuclear war and the end of our lives, and he's like, civility matters. You wouldn't treat your business and your job like that. You wouldn't interrupt people, right? We need to have civility and, morality in there. So, can't be interrupted in the middle of talking, doesn't want to be interrupted, right? We just saw that. You can't be interrupted. You wouldn't do that at work. You wouldn't interrupt somebody at work, right? Okay. Remember that while I show you this video. Gotta bring it up first. There we go. Check this one out.
I have to admit that sometimes going out on the campaign trail feels a little harder than it's used to. Not just because I'm older and grayer. I don't know if y'all heard that. What? I'm sorry, what'd you say?
You heard that, right? So he gets heckled by this lady who says, "You finer than a motherfucker," and he stops and he turns around and he asks her again what she says. You got interrupted by her. I'm sorry, but if this was a business, if this was your job, HR would be there in a fucking heartbeat because you're being interrupted and she's hitting on you, which is completely inappropriate in a business. So that's actually something in a business at work that would be inappropriate. Not a guy coming to you saying, we have a problem, you're going to completely end this business. If you want to look at America like a business, which it practically fucking is anyway, it's a corporateocracy, an autocracy. Then that's not, the guy coming to you saying you are going to literally destroy and nuke our entire country / business. Coming to you, interrupting you, saying that is not something that the professional workplace would ever complain about. That is something that is legit. That is something that needs to be recognized and acknowledged. But he can't be interrupted for that. But when it comes to actual HR problems that you shouldn't be interrupted, like you're a married man, where the fuck is your wife? And this is not how you treat a business. But you're going to sit there and listen to her and say, oh, I'm a finer than a motherfucker. Just keep this in mind while we watch the rest of the 30 seconds of this bullshit.
Said I was still fine. Okay. I'm not going to tell Michelle you said that. Although Michelle does agree. She knows.
So you can be heckled, you can be interrupted.
We're getting distracted. Squirrel.
And then he brings up the up reference, the up reference of how everybody's super distracted. And don't tell my wife, but she agrees with you. HR, please, is somebody going to get HR at this rally? Because it seriously needs to happen right now. Like, that woman was completely unnecessary, doesn't need to be doing all of that stuff. You want to sit there and kick out a guy that brings out a really legit question and a subject, and you want to kick him out and tell him civility, but you're going to let this bitch do this. That's so professional of you, and it sickens me, and it's absolutely disgusting. Now, another thing that I noticed that was really, really, really gross as well was somebody put together this really awesome compilation. Is this it? Yeah, okay. So this guy right here, Fox from Space Commune, says we get distracted instead of focusing on what's important. Last week, several different versions of the Obama heckler were published. This mashup shows how the mainstream media uses both the left and right wing to dazzle and distract the American people from the truth. Now, exactly. Democratic hypocrisy 101. Yeah, exactly. Don't bug me when it comes to actual issues that come, that have to deal with our planet and our country and the well-being of the citizens. But tell me my ass looks cute or I'm hot and I'm going to pay attention to all of that. Like, bro, you actually just want the attention. You don't want to have, just like in your presidency, your 8 years in presidency, you don't want to do anything. You don't want to help out anyone except for your friends who are going to help benefit you financially later. But you want to look good. You want that, the TMZ report of how you look on the beach. You want people to say, oh, he's wearing a tan suit. Like, that's all he wants. He wants that kind of attention, which means that he just wants to be a celebrity in the first place, and they never really wanted to actually help out anyone, which is what the fuck is any different than all the rest of them. I mean, literally right after Obama, we had Trump, who is literally a celebrity. And then I'm pretty sure right after, now that we have Biden's just some old guy who wants to like rekindle his old time and try to have celebrity now, since he never got it before, because all the celebrity he had before was to belittle people of color and put them in jail and wrong them and do them wrong. So it's all celebrity, when it comes to actual issues. But here, putting that to the side, now that we know that kind of hypocrisy of what, him taking in, compliments of how he looks, but not actually wanting to listen to the issues of people out there. This person, putting that to the side, this person did a really good job of showing how mainstream media showed this in two different versions, in two different ways, completely than, Jose's video version, and not even really talking about the issues, just showing how each one is handling the heckler. You'll see this video is actually really, really interesting how he put this together. Yeah, right, exactly. Reagan, the actor, started us on this route for sure. Yeah, Mr. Cowboy Man. It's exactly what happened.
And if elected officials don't do more to explicitly reject that kind of rhetoric, if they tacitly support it or encourage their supporters to stand outside voting.
I wanted to read that really quick. Okay. So on October 29th, this was the Michigan speech again. Anti-war protesters showed up to question his support of ongoing war. Both the left-wing and right-wing media worked to cover up the true nature of this intervention. So they're actually covering up the fact that people are speaking anti-war sentiments, which really pisses me off too, because it reminds me of like World War I and World War II, where people were outside on the streets claiming they don't want to be a part of war, and they were subsequently arrested after that. So it's literally the government, the police, and actual people who are brainwashed, putting these anti-war protesters down pretty much, like into this, metaphorical ditch. So so that way their voices never get heard and nothing ever gets changed. It really feels like the 2022 new age version of that kind of thing that they used to do to those people. So there has there has not been any kind of evolution or change. But here is the cover up of how the left wing and the right wing did it. This was an absolute amazing little mashup that this guy did. So we'll pay attention to it.
Support it or encourage their supporters to stand outside voting places armed with guns and dressed in tactical gear. More people can get hurt. And we're going to be violating the basic spirit of this country.
Mr. President, there's more people that are going to get hurt if we go into nuclear war. Right now, thanks to what you did in Ukraine in 2014. Why won't you tell the truth about what you did to overthrow Ukraine in 2014?
Come on. Sir, this is what I'm saying. Look, there is a process that we set up in our democracy.
Yeah, but we're on the verge of nuclear war.
Do
you care about the lives of your supporters? Will you tell the truth before the world walks into world war? The coup of 2014 is on your doorstep. You were the one that allowed for do you respect the lives of your own supporters?
Hold on a minute. Listen, everybody. Hey, y'all up there, pay attention. Here's what happened. Listen. No. I mean, this is part of. Not only is this an example of what I'm talking about, but it's also an example of how we get distracted. Suddenly, y'all ever see that movie Up, that Disney movie? Remember
Okay.
that dog and the dog?
The rest of that part doesn't matter, but it was the whole point of, so here's the 3 actual videos of what actually happened with these at this situation. Here's the anti-wars video where you can actually hear what he says. Up here is the left-wing mainstream media, which they completely drowned it out, this guy in his protest, and only showed him talking and the people there. And then the right wing decided to actually cut out some things, leave out some stuff, and add in audio that says fuck Joe Biden. Wild to me how the left and the right wing are just completely making people believe what they want to believe in their own ways. Left wing drowning him out to where it sounds like he's just some heckler and nobody's going to know what he's talking about. Even the Washington Post said that they couldn't get what the guy said or couldn't hear what the guy said. So that's what they stuck with. That's their story and they're sticking to it. The right wing added audio in there and completely cut out a lot of the stuff, the Obama they cut out, a lot of the in-between stuff, and then added audio to make it seem like his own audience was against him. But in actuality, where the bottom video is what really happened and how this guy was treated completely wronged in this setting where he should have all rights to be asking these kind of questions. Now, obviously, as we know, Obama isn't, president and probably doesn't, has no real legislative, power or anything, but he does have power. He does have, verbiage power. He can talk to people and talk people into doing things. And he's really good friends, obviously very close with Biden as well. So I thought that was very interesting to see how the mainstream media kind of, did their own little shenanigans and manipulations to make it look the way that they want it to look, when in all actuality, this is how it really, really was down here at the bottom. So, yeah, exactly. Obama is the distraction. Those crazy people, don't you dare talk to the ex-president like that. They are you're right, Randy, you are. They're risking all of our lives. It sucks to be the ones that are anti-war when there's so many people so for the war, because you feel like you're screaming the truth at the top of your lungs in a crowded area and nobody is listening. Not a single person can hear you. Like, I don't know, you're trying to scream it, but your lips are, I don't know, stitched or taped and nobody can hear you. It sucks. It's a really horrible feeling. A lot of, I know that a lot of people who are like wrongly imprisoned or wrongly in jail have that feeling all the time, where they feel like they're screaming from the top of their lungs. They're doing everything they can to get people to see that they're right and the side of their story is the compassionate, correct one. And nobody listens. Not a single person listens. And it sucks. It's really saddening. Exactly, Brandy screaming into the void. So that's exactly how it feels. And it sucks. Some smart Dem is going to use the 3 videos claiming fake, yet it's really mainstream clips. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the top 2 are from the mainstream. I mean, you can see right here on the bottom right of the left-hand one, you see it says MSNBC reports. So, yeah. And I know that this is the right-wing one because I went to Fox News last night and they were saying that the crowd was screaming, fuck Joe Biden, when it wasn't. So yeah, you're right. They're going to think that, it's all fake, but actually those are fake. And the real one is the one that down here at the bottom. So everything else is fake. It's kind of like where they did, during the 2016 convention, when they did those sound machines to cover up sound from, the people who were like wanting Bernie to win at the time. So thank you, McGill. It is, yeah, it's not mine. It's this guy, Fox G Green. If you guys want to give him a follow, I guess I'm not following him. So there we go. Now I am. Fox from Space Commune did a very, very, very good job. He has obviously the entire video as well. Yeah, no, I really liked what he did here and getting us all to see all of that. So right, the FJB edit is kind of believable though. They really did a good job on the F Joe Biden part. They really made it look or sound like they were, and the way that he was like just kind of sitting there quiet and like it sounded like he was waiting, for them to stop saying it. So yeah, it almost looked believable. But that's how they brainwash people. It's exactly how they do it. So but yeah, there's the hypocrisy in 2 different areas. One with the actual politician hypocrisy itself, and the mainstream media's hypocrisy, which is absolutely nuts. But typical and obvious as we can expect. So good morning, Jim. Good to see you. Everybody go check out Official People's Party, not related to Movement for a People's Party, completely different. Go give him a check out. He's pretty awesome. Let's see what else we can learn today. We'll do, looks like Pompeo got handed some papers while he was doing some kind of photo shoot, it looked like. So definitely want to we'll start off showing the video and then we can read the article that I found about it. So here's Assange defense posted up breaking Pompeo and the CIA are sued for spying on lawyers and journalists at the Ecuadorian embassy. We will keep you updated as this develops. So this is the girl that's filming. I think she's with this guy right here in the blue is the one that's going to be handing him the papers. So he goes up to him, gives him a handshake, obviously in front of the green screen, wonder what he's shooting for, hands him the paper, and walks away. You know you gotta feel like a fucking stud when you go and do something like that. Like, can you imagine, like, you're the only person in the United States as of right now who's got to serve Mike Pompeo suing papers. You're a fucking stud. Gives you like automatically a 10 out of 10 smash for sure. Yes, a People's Party is awesome. Oh, you're saying I'm awesome. Oh, oops. We already entered the age of deep fakes. Absolutely. I mean, especially with reface apps. Jesus Christ. But yeah. Thanks. Thanks that you were talking about People's Party, because People's Party is awesome. I hope Jim becomes successful in that. I really do. We need more parties, so especially more parties that kind of, relate to us and us regular people. So there's him giving the papers. Okay, so we watched that a couple times. WikiLeaks posted up Mike Pompeo has been summoned by a Spanish court to testify over claims the U.S. plotted to assassinate Julian Assange. Discussion took place at the highest levels of the Trump administration. The Telegraph post, did the U.S. plot to assassinate Julian Assange? A judge wants answers from Mike Pompeo. Here we go. What? I have to start a free trial just to read this damn thing? Come on. I thought I was going to be able... How can I... Okay, I was like, wait, I read this last night. All of a sudden, you're not going to want to work for me. Even though you were working last night when I read you. Yeah. It keeps wanting it. Okay, are you gonna... Can Julian Assange... Or, I mean, this WikiLeaks give me... Can it give me a website that I can actually read? Of course not. Well, this just turned my my talking about it into nothing. Let's see. Mike Pompeo served. You got served, Mike. It's all going to be like mainstream news stuff. I guess I should probably put a filter on. Updated within the last 24 hours. Elon already overworking his employees. You told you were AB normal. Man, I had like that whole thing to read and everything, and now it's just went to shit. And nobody is talking about it. I can't believe what is going on. Is this a good one? Can we read that one? Attorney and journalist illegally searched during visits with Julian Assange, sue CIA and Mike Pompeo. Here we go. Finally. That's what I'm talking about. Give me something. Okay, I'm going to have to bring this back with audio so that way we can watch this video. There we go. Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Holy shit. Never mind. That's fucking 59 minutes long. No, thank you. Holy crap. Let's read. So at a press conference in New York on Monday, Assange's U.S. lawyers said the suit alleges that, unbeknown to even the Ecuadorians who granted Assange asylum, the data on their phones and other electronic devices was copied and handed over to the CIA. The CIA, which declined to comment on the lawsuit, is prohibited from collecting intelligence on U.S. citizens, although several lawmakers have alleged that the agency maintains a secret repository of American communications data. I bet they fucking do. Spying motherfuckers. Legal experts, including a former senior intelligence official, told Newsweek that the allegations in the lawsuit, if proven, show the CIA crossed lines drawn to protect American citizens from surveillance by overzealous intelligence agencies. That's a good couple of words right there. Overzealous intelligence agencies. I like that. I like those words. Is this a Democracy Now! Video? It's 49 minutes long. Please don't be 49 minutes long. Are you going to play?
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. The CIA and inside the embassy on behalf of the CIA. UC Global and the company's director, David Morales, are also named as defendants in the new lawsuit, which comes less than a year after Yahoo News revealed the CIA considered abducting and possibly assassinating Assange while he was in the embassy. On Monday, several plaintiffs in the lawsuit spoke during an online news conference. This is Deborah Herbeck. She's a media lawyer who visited Assange at the Ecuadorian embassy in London several times to discuss sensitive legal matters.
On arrival, there was a strict protocol for the protection of Julian, we were told. Passports, mobile phones, cameras, laptops, recording devices, and other electronic equipment were turned over to the security guards in the lobby. We learned much later, through a criminal investigation under the supervision of a court in Spain, that while visitors like me were meeting with Julian in the embassy conference room, the guards next door were taking apart our phones, removing and photographing SIM cards, and we believe downloading data from our electronic equipment. The boss,
busted! They got busted big time. Oh my God. That's insane, dude. I cannot believe the CIA is able to get away with this shit. They're just slowly becoming more and more aggressive, and it's disgusting how people are just so completely blind to even noticing this kind of stuff. I guess because they're secretive about it, which is even more disgusting.
Alice from UC Global, who appears to have been recruited by the CIA through associates of Sheldon Adelson during a visit to a tech conference, was making regular trips to Washington, D.C., to New York, to Las Vegas, reportedly to hand over thumb drives and to receive further instructions from his U.S. government handlers. In other words, during our meetings with Julian at the embassy, recordings of our confidential conversations and the contents of our electronic devices were being delivered into the hands of the United States government. I'm a New York lawyer. I have the right to assume that the US government is not listening to my private and privileged conversations with my clients, and that information about other clients and cases I may have on my phone or laptop are secure from illegal government intrusion. This is not just a violation of our constitutional rights. This is an outrage.
That's, again, the attorney, Deborah Herbeck.
I completely agree. That is absolutely disgusting to me, and I can't believe that they're just willingly getting away with it with no repercussions or punishments or anything like that, but punish regular citizens for like barely doing anything, like giving people fines for putting trash in dumpsters and shit.
Who is a plaintiff in the new lawsuit against the CIA and the former CIA director, Mike Pompeo, for spying on her and other visitors when they met with WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange in the Ecuadorian embassy in London. We're joined now by Richard Roth, the lead attorney who filed the lawsuit on Monday. Lay out the case, Richard.
Hi, Amy. Thank you for having me. So the case is very simple and very troubling. Essentially, there are these individuals.
Yeah, I remember, so John says Julian and Snowden had already posted that they monitor all of their phones, TVs, cards, and other devices. Yeah. So I remember they were talking about that a couple of years ago. I used to do video editing for Randy Credico's show for a few months at the beginning of the Coco virus time, pandemic, like lockdown and all of that. And I remember back then they were talking about it as well, because Randy would bring some people on and they would talk about how their stuff was being watched. So it's good to see, even though it's taken this long, it's really good to see that they're actually doing something about it now. So hopefully something can be done. And maybe maybe too, that this can, waste some more time to where they're not going to try to force Julian Assange to come over here, or Snowden to be forced over here to America to face whatever consequences that our American autocracy, corrupt government gang wants to give to these, journalists. So yeah, I agree. I heard about it years ago. It's good to see what they're doing now, and I hope something comes of it. So let's continue watching.
Work at the embassy who are just there to essentially monitor the traffic that comes in. What we learned was that through a Spanish court proceeding, we learned that, in fact, UC Global went to a convention and presented at a convention where Sheldon Adelson, as Deborah Herbeck said, essentially introduced them to, brought them in to the wings of the CIA to not only just monitor who comes to visit Julian Assange at the Ecuadorian embassy, but to actually take their phones, their cell phone, their laptops, any kind of recording devices, and to image them while they were inside. Because when they walked in, they had to leave them with the security company. We also learned that they were streaming, that they actually had streaming microphones and cameras inside the embassy for meetings with Julian Assange. We learned this in the Spanish court proceeding, and there are witnesses who essentially were employees at UC Global, thinking that they were just doing their job, and learning from Morales that all of this was going back to, quote, American intelligence. It was going back to the Americans. It was going back to the dark side. And these individuals came forward and told essentially the Spanish court and others that they did not understand at the time that they were part of this enterprise that tape recorded everything that Julian Assange did. And what's very troubling about it is not only is it a violation of the Fourth Amendment, your right to privacy, but you have lawyers, you have journalists, you have doctors who went to visit Julian Assange. And if doctors went in, there's a doctor-patient privilege, there's an attorney-client privilege. And so not only did they literally listen in on the conversations, but any client of, for example, Deborah Urbex, who had information on her laptop, not even Assange's, was the U.S. government now has privy to. So it's very troubling. Deborah's comment that it's an outrage is square on point. And so what we've done is we've commenced an action to
There's
essentially
this is some of the video that I've seen before, is this kind of stuff right here that they're showing. I've seen this and thought that was wrong that they were doing it back then. So yeah, this is some of the video that is actually, I'm surprised that they're showing this now too. So
we've sued the CIA, and we've sued Mike Pompeo for the outrageous conduct. On top of that, Mike Pompeo, in his very first address when he became CIA director, let it be known he was going to go after Julian Assange. He called Julian Assange and WikiLeaks a non-state hostile intelligence agency, and he called Julian a fraud. And there's plenty of evidence, more of which we will get through discovery, that essentially would lead one to conclude that the CIA went in, took UC Global, and put it under its wing to allow it to record and listen to everything that Julian Assange was saying.
Richard, I want to go to that clip of then CIA Director Mike Pompeo in 2017 talking about WikiLeaks in his first address as CIA Director in the Trump administration.
WikiLeaks walks like a hostile intelligence service and talks like a hostile intelligence service. It has encouraged its followers to find jobs at the CIA in order to obtain intelligence. It directed Chelsea Manning in her theft of specific secret information. It overwhelmingly focuses on the United States while seeking support from anti-democratic countries and organizations. It's time to call out WikiLeaks for what it really is: a non-state hostile intelligence service, often abetted by state actors like Russia.
Julian Assange.
You love the part where they're like, he's like Russia. Come on, these guys are journalists. Are you kidding me? It's wild how they manipulate words and change it into things that make them seem like some kind of terrorist, anti-American type people. Like, no, they pretty much just gave us information that we should have known about because our military industrial complex is unregulated. Good morning, Sally. Good to see you. Or good afternoon. Good to see you.
Later responded to Pompeo's allegation in an interview with journalist Jeremy Scahill on the podcast Intercepted.
Pompeo has stated that WikiLeaks instructed Chelsea Manning to go after certain information. That's an interesting revelation. And then there is his statement that this, i.e. WikiLeaks and its publications, end now. So how does he propose to conduct this ending? He didn't say, but the CIA is only in the business of collecting information, kidnapping people and assassinating people. So it's quite a menacing statement that he does need to clarify.
And again, Richard Roth, Yahoo News last year revealed that the CIA did consider abducting and possibly assassinating Julian Assange while he was in political asylum in the embassy. Your comments on this?
Completely criminal, absolutely criminal. Do you hear that? They even admitted to it. They said it out loud. They said that we were going to kidnap and assassinate him. They're saying the quiet parts out loud. Why are people not understanding this and hearing this and getting mad about it and trying to stop? Yeah, right? Look, a real hero, right? Free Julian Assange, please, right? This is crazy to me how he's just not out yet. Yay! I love the emo.
Could be a presidential candidate in the next presidential election.
Yeah, Julian Assange and WikiLeaks is a publication. It gets information from sources and publishes it. No different than the New York Times, no different than any newscaster. It does nothing more. There is an indictment alleging more. Certainly the government will have to prove it. But the bottom line is, thus far, all we've seen is publication. It's no different than the Pentagon Papers the New York Times actually published. So there is a very clear purpose for the news, and that is if information comes in its possession, and it doesn't matter which news source, whether it's Fox or whether it's CNN, then it has not only is it right, but it has an obligation to tell the world that this is what I have. There's no evidence, and we'll certainly see if he's extradited at this trial, that WikiLeaks was actually involved in the hacking of any computers by the NSA. Chelsea Manning is a different story, but if Chelsea Manning gives information to the New York Times, you can bet your bottom dollar the New York Times is going to publish that, because that is its obligation, and that's all WikiLeaks is. Why Mike Pompeo went ahead and went so far, so extreme, to essentially label WikiLeaks as a hostile, non-state intelligence service is just remarkable. And then what he did was they went ahead and using a UC Global, they actually went in, and they are the ones that wrongfully took information. There's a real irony here. While WikiLeaks is being charged of wrongfully taking information, it's the CIA that wrongfully took information, not only of Assange, but of U.S. citizens. Ms. Urbeck, Margaret Kunstler, and other plaintiffs. So there's a real irony here that what they're being accused of is what the CIA was doing, which is very, very troubling.
And of course, many journalists. I wanted to go back to 2014. In a Democracy Now! Exclusive, we went inside Ecuador's embassy in London to interview WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange as he had just entered his third year of political asylum. We're in the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where Julian Assange took refuge 2 years ago. He's been detained in Britain for close now to 4 years. Welcome to Democracy Now!, Julian.
Thank you, Amy.
how are you doing here? It's been over 2 years that you have really not seen daylight for any extended period of time.
It's been nearly 4 years that I've been detained without charge in one form or another here.
Can I just say really quick how good looking Julian Assange is? I just wanted to state that really quick. He's a beautiful creature. He's definitely a beautiful creature.
In the United Kingdom, first in prison to solitary confinement, then under house arrest for about 18 months, and now 2 years here in the embassy. The Ecuadorian government gave me political asylum in relation to the ongoing national security investigation by the DOJ, the Department of Justice in the United States, into our publications and also into sourcing efforts. So did I enter into a conspiracy with Chelsea Manning, who was sentenced last year to 35 years in prison? So the question as to how I'm doing, of course, personally, it's a difficult situation in a variety of ways. I would say that when someone's in this position, what you are most concerned about is the interruption in your family relationships. So because of the security situation, that's made it very hard for my children and my parents.
So that's Julian Assange when we interviewed him. And people can go to democracynow.org to see all the interviews we did with Julian Assange in London. But the significance of now him being held for, that was 2014, he'd been held for 4 years. So we're talking 12 years now in the maximum security Belmarsh prison, where Britain is preparing to extradite him to face espionage charges in the United States. What role do you see your lawsuit playing in the possibility of stopping this extradition?
So it's a great question. And let's just talk for a second about the fact that he's in a maximum security prison for a publisher. It's that in and of itself is an outrage. But the role is the following. If, in fact, we can prove that the CIA was listening to and taking information, that includes Julian Assange's lawyers, criminal lawyers, in the actual extradition proceeding and in the proceeding which presumably will be tried in the Northern District of Virginia, when in fact if in fact he is extradited and if in fact he is tried. So think about it. The CIA, years before he's even tried in Virginia, has tape recordings of the conversations Julian Assange had with his lawyers. We think that that information is so outrageous that if, in fact, we prove our case, when we go to the Virginia court, there could be a federal court judge in Virginia that looks at the CIA's conduct and says, I can't. There's not a chance I will let you try this case in light of the fact that you're the ones that spied on him. You have all his information. And the goal with that lawsuit, independent of this one, is to have that lawsuit thrown out, to let the publisher publish. That's all we're asking, is let the publisher publish. I'm not the lawyer in that case. I know the lawyer in that case. He's a highly qualified Washington, D.C. criminal lawyer. But that's what that's the goal there. The goal there is to just let the publisher publish. That's all it is. And the irony is, yesterday, Rand Paul said that the Espionage Act, for which Julian has been essentially indicted, should be repealed. So on the one hand, you have a major Republican senator saying we should repeal the Espionage Act, and on the other hand, we have a full court press on Julian to get him convicted for dozens and dozens of years under that same Espionage Act.
And what further information are you getting from UC Global in terms of the Spanish court case and its connection to Sheldon Adelson, the late casino magnate, where they apparently met in Las Vegas at a tech conference?
Correct. They met at a conference called a SHOT conference, S-H-O-T. And what we've learned is that's when Adelson actually introduced Morales to the CIA. And what we're getting from the Spanish courts, even though it is technically sealed, there is information coming out. And what we're getting from the courts is that people that worked at UC Global did not really that was not the job they took. Their job was to allow people to come in and out of the embassy in a structured manner. And all of a sudden they find out that the tape recordings are going on, and they're adding recordings here, and they're adding devices there, and they're returning it to America. And they're learning from Morales that this information is going to, quote, the Americans. It's going to, quote, American intelligence. Why would information be taped and go to American intelligence? So that's all information that we currently have. We intend on getting a lot more from UC Global. We obviously just started the lawsuit yesterday, so there's a process that has to take place. We certainly expect resistance on many parts, including Pompeo, but that's the information that we intend on getting from these UC Global employees who are going to tell us that they were directed to engage in this conduct and provide it to the Central Intelligence Agency. It's nothing short of outrageous.
Yep, CIA is going to be in trouble. That's crazy. They're going to probably find the way to get themselves out of it. I mean, they're the fucking CIA, and that's what they do. They keep themselves out of it. That's wild to me, though. I wonder if these people that are working for this UC thing actually knew that what they were doing was wrong, or they were just following orders and maybe felt like something was wrong. I don't know. Poor Julian Assange, though. At least this is stopping him from being extradited even longer, too. So that's a good thing. Thank goodness for this lawyer.
You're also alleging that there was an official Ecuadorian rep, Gabriela Pais, who was bribed with $20,000 in cash a month, according to the Spanish lawsuit.
That's correct. That's correct. The money was being paid to numerous people to allow for this intelligence to take place. It's obvious that the purpose of putting someone seeking asylum and going in an embassy is essentially to shield them from the law. And which was essentially the case for the first 4 years. But what happened was not only was he was shielded, I guess, physically, but what happened was that whole process was reversed when Pompeo became CIA, the head of the CIA, to essentially get from Assange and all the people that come in there all the information that really should have been confidential. So we intend on taking depositions. We intend on getting documents. The Spanish proceeding is a little difficult to get information from because it is sealed. But even the Spanish court has subpoenaed Mike Pompeo to testify.
And Mike Pompeo is being sued as a private citizen in your case, as well as the CIA?
That's correct. That's absolutely correct.
For damages, and has he responded?
No, he's not responded yet. We just filed it. We will serve it. We don't know what kind of response we're going to get. We do know that Pompeo, my understanding is that he's been hesitant and has not been forthright with the subpoena in the Spanish courts. I don't know if he'll be forthright or and we'll probably have the same hesitancy in New York, but we shall see.
Well, I want to thank you, Richard Roth, lead attorney representing the lawyers.
He got served those papers for sure. Definitely got served. So here's the legal filing of the papers. There's just pages, 13 pages of legal filing. Oh, you can download it yourself if you guys want to read it. That's interesting. Well, good. Good that stuff is public as well. So, anything else coming up new with that? I'm not seeing. Oh, I gotta share what I'm looking at. That would be smart. So I'm trying to look to see if anything else has happened on Pompeo. There's the one we just watched. You've been served. We just tried to read that. I guess everybody's just talking about him being served. Yeah, everybody's just showing the video of him being served. So I guess, yeah, that's it. That's him being served. You've been served. Mint Press News. God, Good for him. Yeah, it's all of it. It's just the being served picture. So, organized criminal institutions, when our RICO law is going to be used against them and the politicians in bed with them, right? The Pompeo part of forced birth. What is this? Republican vote tracker. Everybody just wants to see the part where he got served. That's it. Pompeo boasted of weakening BRICS by supporting Bolsonaro and Modi and encouraging internal division to try to isolate China and Russia. So there's another thing that he was doing that's bad. Thank you, Ben Norton. Americans shouldn't be helping corrupt CCP officials or fentanyl traffickers hide their money in America. Congress has a chance to act in the NDAA. The Enablers Act will correct loopholes that allows China's genocidal regime to hide stolen money in America. Jesus Christ. Like, they are doing money, hiding money in America, but genocidal regime. Mike Pompeo, come on now. Come on now. Dude, get over yourself. DN? Who's DN? Well, that's interesting. Good for Julian Assange. I really like I was saying, I honestly truly hope that he gets this, at least, you know, waste some time so that way you know, we could still try to figure out some time to get him free and not extradited over here to where he's, you know, going to be pretty much murdered, like legally murdered, which is bullshit. So I really hope that something comes of this, that they're able to do something. So all right. I might be getting off of here earlier today if I keep running out of stuff. Oh yeah, no, I got an extra video that I can probably bring up to later. Okay. So recently, I think it was, when was this? October 31st. So Monday. That Jose Vega guy shared this. Man, this guy's getting big. Like, he's starting to get known and shit because of all of this, which is kind of cool. So he posted a video of Cory Booker talking about how he's going to fight for the last Ukraine, pretty much, you know, the Democratic talking points when it comes to the anti-war protesting, like we were talking about earlier with the whole Obama and what happened with him. So this is the Cory Booker version. Oh, wait. I guess I should turn up the volume, huh? There we go.
Senator Booker, hi, nice to meet you. I'm asking, I came here to ask you about what your plans are for peace in Ukraine. Right now, we're facing potential nuclear war.
Look at his face. He's like, oh man, I thought I was just here for a photo opportunity, and you're gonna come at me with this shit really quick. Like, deer caught in headlights, was not expecting it at all, and now he's got to use his brain really quick.
It's no joke. So far, it seems like the politics doesn't seem to be addressing this whatsoever, you know, with the ongoing election. I'm curious what it is that you're planning on doing to bring peace between the United States and Russia.
Between the United States and Russia?
Yeah, that's what's on the table, right?
The Ukrainian people are fighting for their lives. I've been there. Their backs are against the wall and having a country invaded. They're trying to defend themselves.
Defend themselves from what? Defend themselves from a country that's trying to stop them from, you know, putting weapons of mass destructions on their border. Like, all right, Ukraine, you want to be a part of NATO, but now you got to deal with what Russia wants to do, because Russia doesn't want American weapons right next to their border. You don't get to be the chooser of what happens just because of what you've asked and because you're friends with the big boys. Sorry. And this guy's like, they're fighting for their freedoms and their backs are against a wall. Like, okay, good talking points, but you're a fucking liar.
We're focused on, like all of our allies, is trying to help the people of Ukraine have peace and justice like we all want.
If we want them to have peace and justice, shouldn't we be doing everything we can to end the war? Aren't we just prolonging the war, bring us closer to nuclear confrontation?
He's absolutely fucking correct. He could not be even more correct than I could ever even say. I mean, that makes me at loss for words because he's fucking right. Like, you want to talk about, having them get their backs off the wall and wanting to live peacefully, then fucking stop this shit. Russia is more than willing to have talks with Ukraine and America, but they don't talk about that. They're like, our backs are against the wall and Russia's pushing and Russia's doing this. And no, they're not. They're not. They're retaliating. This is called they're reacting. They're not acting, they're reacting, because we're Americans, the West, and Ukraine are doing things first, and they're reacting.
Again, you know this. You want to end the war and let 20% of their country be taken by the Russians.
I think we need
Would you give up Texas and Florida and stuff like that? Come on.
We're talking about nuclear war, though. This is what's on the table.
That's where that guy kind of upset me. That he didn't talk about the right thing right there. You want, where he says, okay, you want to end the war and let 20% of their country be taken by the Russians. Like, it's not 20% of their country. It's like this little sliver on the other side of the river. And I think isn't it the Russians anyways? Like, it was theirs in the first place, and we just keep expanding, like Ukraine just keeps expanding closer and closer and pushing more and more of the borders. Like, this is a tit for tat on their parts, which is absolutely mind-boggling that even Cory Booker, who's supposed to be progressive, is even thinking that this is okay, that he talks like this. And like, while that's happening, check this out. Like, China is declaring its support for Russia as a great power and clarifies its position on the use of nuclear. China's foreign ministry said it will support the Russian side to overcome difficulties to achieve the strategic goal of development and consolidate Russia's status as a great power, and said that any attempt to prevent it and Moscow from moving forward is doomed to failure. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi held a telephone conversation with his Russian counterpart, and the two sides pledged to enhance bilateral relations and bring more stability to the world, according to the Chinese Foreign Ministry statement. Wang stressed that China will firmly support the Russian side to overcome difficulties to achieve the strategic goal of the development and consolidate Russia's status as a great power. Look at us. America's about to not be the world power anymore. I'm telling you, the shit's coming. They're really starting to work together. They're saying fuck Americans, like, karma. This is us getting what's coming to us. We fucked around and now we're about to fucking find out. He also stressed that China and Russia have legitimate rights to achieve development, which they're right, which is in line with the trend of the times, as he put it, noting that any attempt to preventing Beijing and Moscow from moving forward is doomed to failure. For his part, Lavrov said Russia is ready to strengthen communications with China at all levels, deepen multilateral cooperation, jointly safeguard the Asia-Pacific region, as well as ensure world peace and stability. He's wanting to talk about stability and peace in the world. It's America that doesn't. Even though they say they do, it's not really true. The Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman said that during a telephone conversation with his Russian counterpart, the Chinese foreign minister discussed views on the Ukrainian crisis and announced that the Russian side expressed its willingness to hold a dialogue with Ukraine and the United States and resume negotiations. It's right here. I mean, they're saying it right here that Russia is willing to hold dialogue and wanting peace. It's America. Like we just watch like what they say about what Russia wants to do and how Russia's doing this and doing that, but Russia's willing to talk. It's America that's like Russia's not willing to talk. It's wild how they're acting like this, and people just all they got to do is, just read a little bit and they'd understand. So in this context, the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman said that Beijing appreciates Russian President Putin's speech on the One China principle and is looking forward to the relationship with Russia in many fields. The spokesman added that the United States is spreading false news about China's nuclear policy, noting that his country has a responsibility to use this type of weapon. I mean, if we're going to be a nuclear power and put our own nukes all over the world to, try to control other countries, why can't they? We started it. We're the only country in the entire world that's actually used it on a country. So why can't they have one? We did it to ourselves. This is fuck around and find out 101 right here. China has expressed concern about Russia's war in Ukraine, but it's not openly critical of it. Good relations between Russia and China do not mean an agreement on all issues, as the two countries do bring together a silent competition for influence and wealth in Central Asian republics that were part of the former Soviet Union. Obviously, there's always going to be a little bit of competition, but if they can work together and have their own, like to where they're not competing anymore, Russia makes its own things, China makes its own things, and they work together and trade. You make this, we buy it from you. You make this, we buy it from you. I think they're going to have a lot more agreements than what they're doing with America. America just goes and takes all of its work to China and then uses its, labor and low pay to make super profits in America and all the other countries. So, I mean, I could see Russia doing it, but Russia and China being so close, the transportation isn't going to be that much costlier than it would be to go to America. So I could see them working together, and I can see us being forgotten, not being the superpower anymore. And like I said, we fucked around and now we're going to find out. And that's just how it goes. And then, but you got people like, Obama ignoring the fact that we're, we're wanting peace talks and ignore and then trying to talk to Cory Booker and all these other politicians. AOC, and Ilhan Omar. These activists are actually trying to do the right thing, and they're like, no, we're going to support Ukraine blindly, give them billions of dollars and anything that they want, and continually give them a blank check to continue this war, while Russia's saying, I'm willing to talk. It's America being the fucking bullies in this whole situation. But America, since they're the bullies, they're like, oh, we're just, trying to protect the little guy because we're superheroes. We're Captain Save-A-Ho. It's exactly how we act when we're the fucking bullies. That's it right here. Like China and Russia are proving it. And like I said earlier, I'm just now repeating myself. We're going to fuck around. Or we fucked around. Now we're going to find out. So now we know the institutionalist desires have more equalness. Yep. Harry J. Aslinger and the war on drugs after prohibition. I'll have to look into that. I've never heard that before. They have their own interpretations of the laws to affect their authoritarian desires. Yep. Now, I'm not saying that I'm for the side of, Russia and China. I'm not on any elitist side because there's still a class war. I just see, it's just fun for me, and it's super entertaining for me to see in the bigger picture of it, like country versus country. Like I look at all the countries as like kids in high school, like America, China, Russia, Ukraine, England, all the countries in South America, Brazil, Venezuela. I look at all of them as like high school kids and how each of one of them act. And I swear to you, Russia and China are like the kids that are gonna like the nerds in school, like the movie The Revenge of the Nerds, how these like nerds are just gonna start getting back at all the bullies that always picked on them. I feel like America's the bully, and these countries are like, yeah, no, we're done. We're fucking tired of it. And what happens with that? The bully ends up becoming a nobody and a nothing, Obviously, there's a bigger picture than that, too, with economies and money and all that stuff. It's just, socially, at least to look at it like that, that's how I see it, is like the bully is about to get its ass beat by a bunch of fucking nerds who can't fucking handle it anymore, which good on them. Good on them because we deserve it. So I hope I'm doing good today for you guys. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, yeah, look, you guys are writing more stuff. Yes, that could have been said about 9/11 too. We fucked around and found out. Absolutely. And then now that's what we're continuing to do, you know? Absolutely continuing to do that. There's a great documentary narrated by Woody Harrelson called Grass that talks about the origin of the demonization of marijuana. Interesting. Wasn't it the CIA that demonized it? Because like they couldn't make a profit off of it because it was so like at least hemp and stuff was so sturdy and all of that they were like, no, people are gonna, you know, things are gonna last too long. We need things to break down, so we gotta, you know, illegalize hemp. Right? Dang, Jimmy, I'm getting out of here with all these bullies before they blow us up. For real, I know. I want out of this fucking country so goddamn bad. It's not even funny. It's great. I want to go to like, you know, all those cool ones that we all like all the progressive people talk about, the like Norway and Sweden and the Netherlands. I want to go to one of those places. Send me over there. I'll be happy. Yeah, I'm with you, John. Yeah, the corporations, institutions, and the fascist politicians. Yeah, American authoritarianism. Absolutely. Absolutely. What else do I got in here? You guys are lucky I found a video last night that I can learn or I can watch because I am running low on stuff. So, okay. This is going to be a fun one. So Kanye West has been going on these rants, man. He has been going off, just going crazy, going at it, going wild, saying everything that, you know, whatever, like saying what he wants to say, you know, feeling like he could just say whatever and he has no repercussions. And so what's been happening because of that was that all of these companies that were working with him and, you know, giving him money to work with them cut ties. Like he went from being worth like over $1 billion to being worth like 400 million, which is still really good. I don't know what he's complaining about, but this is how, you know, this is him, some rich guy complaining about losing money and obviously religion and stuff like that. But at the beginning, when he first, you know, before he came out with the apology and stuff, when he was going off on this like anti-Semitic stuff, yeah, the Jägermeister, right? Yeah. Purple progressive populist mecca. Interesting. I like that. I'm gonna take over one of those secret bases in Antarctica after I run all the Nazis out. You go to Ireland or Scotland? Hell yeah. I would want to go to Ireland. Ireland sounds really, really fun. Just so because I really love bagging on the English. I really love to bag on English and make fun of them and stuff just because, you know, I'm a Family Guy generation. So, you know, making fun of the English people is just what we do. Plus I'm married to an English person, so I get to make fun of him. And my dad was part Irish too. So I was like, oh yeah, I would want to move there. That would be a lot of fun to move to Ireland just so I can, you know, see what Ireland's about. But yeah, I love Norway, Sweden, Switzerland. I love those places. I think they're absolutely beautiful. I love the nature and the tall mountains and all of that. So they live really, really beautifully out there. I'm super jealous. I know. All right, so the Jägermeister. I hear the moon has one of those based. So yeah, the Jägermeister. So no, what am I doing? Kanye has been going off on these like anti-Semitic tangents, saying all kinds of crazy stuff, feeling like he can say anything and get away with anything, until recently when a lot of his company stopped working with him. He went from being worth over $1 billion to a couple $100 million. So now we get to watch some rich person complaining about losing their money. But before that, right before that, Charlemagne, who I respect a lot of things that he has to say. I do respect a lot of his opinions. Pretty much showed he was expressing his concern about Kanye West. And so here is what he's saying about this guy. Apparently he's talked to him recently. So let's hear what he has to say, and then we'll read. If of course. And then of course it's like literally the same ad as as the thing I'm using. You got to love those targeted ads, right? Okay. Let's get this.
He talks about this relationship he has with God, and now I realize that's the only relationship he got.
We need to start really, really leaning into God, because nothing he's doing is of God. Nothing I've seen him do is of God. This, like, you know,
he literally was like, "It's just me and God." And it's like, you got kids, bro.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you got kids.
No, I agree with everything you just said, man. And, you know, that's my thing, right? I hope that this is what it takes for him to actually
hurt people, like you always say, man.
They do, and I hope that this is what helps him to go find some real healing, because clearly he's hurting, right? And I don't see this ending well. I feel like he's moving like a person who doesn't feel like he's going to be here much longer.
So that to me sounds like Charlemagne the God's got his like tinfoil hat on, you know, a little bit, where they talk about he's speaking like he's not going to be alive much longer. I mean, at least with the tinfoil hat, that like they're going to, you know, unalive him, you know, they like Epstein him or something because he's saying too much, because he's, you know, been talking about, like, it's super anti-Semitic, but saying like how, you know, that Jewish people control everything and the Jews run everything and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, it's either one of two things. Is either Charlemagne is saying that he's going to be Epsteined, or he's super depressed and he's not going to, you know, be alive himself because of himself soon, because of the depression. It definitely does seem like Kanye has been in a type of manic episode. Usually when people have an extreme bipolar disorder, they do go into manic episodes. And it kind of feels like you're invincible. You can do everything. Nothing is wrong with you. You're like Superman, you know, kind of thing. And so, you know, when you have a manic episode like that, plus you're worth so much and you have been told by all these yes men, you know, for however many years that you're a genius, you're a god, you're a, you know, a musical influencer, nobody can compete and compare to what you've done, you know, you're a musical genius kind of stuff. You get that all wrapped up in your head right along with a manic episode, and things are bound to go crazy, almost cultish, you know, like a leader of a cult kind of ish. So I don't know which way he means, if, you know, the CIA is going to unalive him or he's going to unalive himself, but it's definitely some serious stuff that Charlemagne was saying about that, which I could kind of see where, you know, by the things he was saying, that this could possibly, you know, it could be true.
You know what I mean? And
how much longer?
I'm not even doing that, but I just feel like he's moving. I just feel like he's moving like a person who's not going to be here much longer. And I also feel like damn, I lost my train of thought because I'm really thinking about that.
Hurt people, man.
No, he's definitely a hurt person, but I'm also just feeling like
I'll go on something, and then when you remember, just let me know. But I think there's something to this idea that, like, the immense pain that he probably feels. And don't get me wrong, he is a musician. Okay. He is a artist. We all know that there are people in entertainment that have been taken advantage of. There's no question that he's been taken advantage of in his life. Okay.
In his life?
We
all have.
No, and I'm not saying, listen, there's been times there's been times I have. We've been taken advantage of. That is a natural course of the business we're in. That's a natural course of life in a lot of ways, especially if you're somebody who has a talent or has value that other people can profit from.
Yeah.
So I can understand that resentment and that complete distrust in humanity manifesting itself in a hate. And Lex was telling him one thing that was really interesting. He's like, don't say Jewish media. Tell me the people specifically that have hurt you. Say their names. That's the brave thing to do. It's not brave to just label the whole group. It's brave to go, John Davidson or whoever the fuck. Say the names of the people that fucked you over.
Yeah.
You keep saying you've been fucked over. Say their names.
But he's not going to say the names because he probably doesn't even know all the names. He's just hearing these like, you know, right-wing talking points, the Illuminati conspiracy theorist talking points talking about, and especially a lot of Nazis talking about how Jews run the world. So, you know, he's not going to have any names because he's not at that point yet in his research and his topics of trying to figure out, you know, all he knows is, okay, I know that, you know, this Jewish person and this Jewish person does run, you know, these companies, but doesn't actually, you know, I forgot what I was saying because I had something else here too. Shit. I had another point or another part to this. Oh, I'll look this up on the next video when we hear the rest of it.
You're not saying names for some reason.
It's because he doesn't really have any names, because I don't even think this was a fight that he was trying to fight. He was literally trying to deflect. He does this all the time. I tell y'all this. He is on a quest for white validation. Here's the thing, and I think that's what I wanted to say earlier. I'm not sure if this is what I wanted to say, but I think this is what I wanted to say. Kanye doesn't love anybody because Kanye doesn't love himself.
And that's, you know, that's from Charlemagne the God saying that stuff. So, you know, that's, at least that's his opinion. Seems like maybe Kanye has some self-hatred of himself. Okay. I want to watch this while I also look for the Reddit that I had, the subreddit where they were. Okay, so this is right after the Charlemagne the God posted or said that, what, like, the kind of thing that he was going through. So here is now his apology. I think I'm gonna run to the bathroom too really quick.
Who you voting for? You. 100%. You. Let's go, baby. All right. I'll see you guys there. Oh no, he got it back.
Gianna Gracie, what did you play?
How you doing, Kanye? How you feeling after this week? How you feeling, brother?
I feel good. You look great. Thank you very much, sir. You look great, my girl.
Thank you, Kanye.
Do you want to talk about anything, Kanye? I mean, do you think you're being unfairly targeted for the comments you make?
You feel like it's unfair?
Yes,
absolutely.
You know, I mean, anti-Semitic statements are never good for anybody, right? It's kind of like being anti-black.
But you know, it's really interesting. I didn't realize that I could be considered anti-Semitic till I read one of the definitions of anti-Semitism. Look at this. The definition says, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, such as, especially, but not exclusively. This sounds like let it go by. All right, so it says, think about it, that sounds like the type of wording that's in the contracts, right?
Indeed.
Okay, it says, such as, especially, but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions.
But isn't that what you said? That Jews run everything?
Yeah, but that actually is considered to be anti-Semitic.
Right.
So I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, you know, I have a Jewish attorney, I have a Jewish record label, I have a Jewish contractor, I have a
Do you
Jewish...
regret your statements? Or the statements you think you should be walking back? I mean, considering...
What do you mean walking back?
Well, you know, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, you know, vilified. You know, I mean, you might think you're right, but I think, you know, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers, ESPN Sports, Fox News, Washington Post, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MTV Music Television, Nickelodeon, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment, Google. What else do we have? Disney, ABC Kids and Family, YouTube, Los Angeles Times, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Huffington Post, Yahoo, Marvel, Hulu, Cosmopolitan, Time, Touchstone, Associated Press, Pixar, Miramax, HBO, New York Post, LucasArts, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now, the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
Do you think they stuck together when they heard what you said? Was that what happened?
Well, what I said is,
so that's the part right there. See, if you look the list that he has right there, right, they need to stop listening to a man who said he is bipolar and doesn't take his meds. Exactly. So this list right here is what I was trying to find. This is some kind of that he did, the whole list that he just read off. He said those are Jewish owners of media companies. And so this is some list that some Redditor has put together, but somebody else has actually found that list and has actually figured out that it's not really what they think it is. That it's not, it was like, because like Disney is yes owned by a Jewish person, but Disney also owns all those other like sub companies that you hear. So if anything here, then it's actually not, if anything, it's not if anything, it's not that Jews are running everything. It's the fact that these, couple of families end up with a bunch of, owning a bunch of different media organizations, which is more like a monopoly than being, anti-Semitic. So, he's got this list, and yeah, this list is, whatever, a good list of different organizations, but they're doing it in the wrong way. And so this subredditor actually did a really good job on pulling it apart and showing the real problem of what it is. And I cannot believe I freaking lost it. Like, this is wild to me that it's just, oh, there it is. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm an idiot. Let me present and let me show this, because this is that list that he has. And so here's that list, okay? And so what this list is actually showing says, okay, so the maker of this infograph used several tricks to artificially paint it red. So trick number 1, list every person as unclear ethnicity if, say, Wikipedia doesn't state they're Jewish, instead of applying the far more likely conclusion that this person is probably not a Jew if there's a single source that they claim they're a Jew. Okay. Trick number 2, list all these unclear ethnicities in a reddish hue. All right, in a reddish hue. Below is the more appropriate version, listing all unknowns in a greenish hue. So they actually had his original list that he was showing. All of these greens were actually reds in a different red. So trick number 3, list irrelevant columns. Who cares about the ethnicity of the vice president who controls your mind 2013, or the founder of a newspaper founded 140 years ago? Only owners matter effectively. Okay. So then trick number 4 was to list single Jews several times to give the impression that more Jews are involved than there actually are. Below are all duplicates marked with yellow squares. So like see William S. Presley is there twice. Redbone is there once, but he's also in a couple other areas that I had seen. Mark Zuckerberg is there twice, so they make it just because they're doing it by CEO, founder, owner, chairman, president. They also have and chief editor. So they get to like double up on the names because these like Mark Zuckerberg is the CEO, the founder, and a chairman. So it works to be able to put him a bunch of times to make it look like there's a lot of red. Trick number 5, mark half Jews red. For example, the owner of Image Entertainment. So we'll go over here, go down to I, Image Entertainment, and see right here, as you can see, it's got a half of a red square, right? Mark half Jews. Yeah, so still mark them. See, half, but they're still marking them full. Even though they're half, they're still marking them full red. All right. Mark non-Jews red, for example, the Yahoo CEO or the Washington Post owner. So we'll go over here and we'll look for Yahoo CEO. All right. Yahoo CEO is the second one over. All right. And so mark non-Jews red. Well, that one that shows the Yahoo. Oh, because you guys are changing it. Okay. So these guys, I think this is the changed one, even though those were red in the other one. But these guys are not. So, okay. Now, what this guy did with these is all you need to really worry about is the owners, right? Because that's what the whole main gist is about. The owners of these media corporations, to them are, the Jews. So why worry about all the rest of these just making extra red areas for people to get all afraid about when you just need to really worry about the owners. So, he didn't have the vocabulary to be a BP1 genius. Now Robin Williams was a BP1 genius. Oh, rest in peace, Robin Williams. All right, so here's number 2 on his research about this. So he says, now take a closer look at the owner column. The owner column is the most important column. Owners are the rulers and the deciders, right? So please note that Mr. Redstone and Mr. Roberts, okay, so Mr. Redstone and Mr. Roberts, see, where is Mr. Redstone and Mr. Roberts? Oh, there's Redstone, there's Roberts. Okay. These two are responsible for most of the red in the owner column and for 18 cells in the whole infograph. So that whole infograph that Kanye was showing, these two men are the owners of all these other companies. So they put all these companies on that list, even though it has the same owner, to make it look like there's more red cells in the Excel spreadsheet. So the red doesn't actually show how controlled we are by Jews, but how concentrated the power is in the hands of these two people / families, and how badly designed this infograph is, as it lists a lot of subsidiaries and divisions. These two red parents, but only few subsidiaries of other green parents. So they didn't even use like all the rest of the other ones that could have been used, because it wouldn't, fit their narrative exactly what they're trying to do. Oh no. Okay, and so then number 3, where in his research, he says, and why are some rows black? Because the maker of the infograph only colored subsidiaries / divisions, but not the more important parent companies at the top of the chain. So if one marks top parent companies run by non-Jews as green, then this is the result. So this is how it would end up looking right here, if they actually did it the right way. See, the red people would be Jewish corporations and the green would not. And it looks pretty normal, absolutely pretty normal. I think this guy did a really good job on the infograph on this. You leave it up to Reddit. Reddit's really good about doing some really good researching. There's a lot of full of shit libs, but there's people that really dig in deep into certain things to help people understand and see things better. But see, if you look at this right here, you'll see in this list, he's got like all these red marks, red everywhere, and like 1, 2, maybe 3 green spots. So he is just only taking it from the Nazi creator of this thing himself. So let's finish watching what he has to say and how he apologizes now.
Do you think they stuck together when they heard what you said? Was that what happened?
Well, what I said is, hey, I've had experiences where it felt like I was being teamed up on, and I didn't realize that term would be considered to be anti-Semitic. So I had a mediation with Adidas today, and I think Adidas felt like because everyone else was ganging up on me that they had the right to just take my designs, and I feel like right now I feel like that was in Christianity we don't say karma, we say you reap what you sow. And I feel like this is God humbling me right now because there's two things that are happening. A lot of times when I would say, oh, I'm the richest black man, it would be a defense that I would use for the mental health conversation. To say, oh, you guys say I'm crazy, but look at this, I made money. And but that is not godlike to be showing off. So if it's not godlike, then God will take that because it's all the church's money, right? So what's happening right now is I'm being humbled. Another thing that's happening is by me being burned to the flesh every single day, it's actually proving what I had to say. So when I went to the mediation, what I want to say is like black people are like, okay, Lex Friedman got you to apologize. Pierce Morgan got you to apologize to the Jews, but you never apologized to us about the George Floyd comment that made us feel bad. Now, the thing is, okay, JFK, they got a lot of documentaries about how it happened. So we can argue about how it happened, which I like the fact that we can do that. But regardless, when I see that video as a black person, it hurts my feelings. And I know that police do attack and America is generally racist. And I understand that when we got to say Black Lives Matter, that the idea of it made us feel good together as a person, as a people, right? When let me say it so the soundbite is better for you guys. When the idea Black Lives Matter came out, it made us.
Wait a minute, let me make the soundbite better for y'all. I swear he is just talking, just out of his fucking ass. No, Miguel, absolute Kanye twin. I remember that. Dude, oh my God, I remember that. The first thing I thought of was Idiocracy. It's the first thing I thought of. But then we got Trump too, again, for the second time. And I was like, okay, still same Idiocracy.
Come together as a people. Now, afterwards, yes, there was some things where the money went. There were some things where it was used in order to push us to the Democratic vote. There were people behind it involved. That happened. But the general feeling. So when I said that, and I questioned the death of George Floyd, it hurt my people. It hurt the black people. So I want to apologize to hurting them because right now God has shown me by what Adidas is doing and by what the media is doing, I know how it feels to have a knee on my neck now.
Woo! Can you believe he said that? He's literally comparing him going from a billionaire to a millionaire, comparing that to a man who literally died at the hands of a police officer and couldn't breathe and was begging for his mother and saying that he couldn't breathe to a police officer who was killing him. He's comparing him going from a billionaire to a millionaire to George Floyd, saying that now he knows what it's like to have his somebody put a knee on his neck. I cannot believe he compared himself to that. It's disgusting. It's gross to me. I can't. Right? Oof. What the fuck? It's absolutely disgusting. It's almost like, hey, I apologize for what I said, and now I'm comparing me going a little bit more poor than I was, comparing that to this man's death. Like, wow. What an apology, right? It's wild to me that he is he could say this stuff and people are like, yes, king, yes, speak some truth, amen, brother, God is speaking through you. Like, are you fucking serious right now? Are you really fucking serious? And what makes it even worse too is like, you're gonna come out with this now after you've literally gone on tour, every fucking possible outlet you can think of to talk shit about the Jewish religion, talk shit about Black Lives Matter. You literally went out with Candace Owens and wore a White Lives Matter t-shirt. You've already done the duty. You've already done the deed. And now you think you're going to be able to apologize and people are just going to forgive you. You went out and did everything. You already went out and made your money. You already went out and said everything you need to say. So you ran out of conservative social media sites to talk on. So now all of a sudden you're coming out with an apology just because Adidas is like, no, we can't handle it no more. And then you're comparing that to somebody actually dying. So gross. So gross. Right, exactly. Even he said he didn't have a knee on his neck. He said that he died of fentanyl overdose. So now all of a sudden you believe it? The hypocrisy in him is still like, I can tell he's, yeah, sorry, not sorry. Yeah, exactly, is how he's doing it. He should have had Chucks and Air Force Ones. He should have my neuropathy and have to wear diabetic slippers for real. For real. He's complaining about him going from a billionaire to a millionaire is comparative to a man dying.
So I thank you, God, for humbling me and letting me know how it really felt. Because how could the richest Black man ever be humble other than to be made to not be a billionaire in front of everyone off of one comment that actually, if you look at the definition of DEFCON, it means to get extra defense, which obviously I must have needed.
Yeah.
I must have needed that extra defense.
Are you worried you ruined
They're
your
all
legacy?
like, everybody except for this one guy that's talking right here. They're all like, yes, king, yes, Slay, you're speaking the truth right now. Are you fucking kidding me? You're kidding me, right? Talking about how he needs defense. DEFCON 3 is defense. Against what? Against what? Companies that don't want to work with you anymore because of what you did? He is literally the atypical narcissist. He's othering his situation, stepping himself and his responsibilities outside of it instead of taking responsibility for his own actions and the reactions that happen to it. And saying that it's God that's handling it. Oh God. I guess all Christians fall back on God. Yeah, exactly. It's man.
How? Well, stop. I'm not worried. I'm just not worried, period. God is alive. God runs the world. You know, God even runs Hollywood. God is alive. And
Do you hear
using
these
me-
motherfuckers? He's all God runs Hollywood, and his eyeballs, the way he looks when he says that, like, look at that creepy ass shit right there. And then that dude in the background, like, yeah, boys, yeah, son, like, ew, gross. He needs to go to East St. Louis with Snoop to see what real is. Dude, I'm telling you, this is wild to me.
God is alive. And he's using me right now. He chose me for such a time like this to basically for the media to put their knee on my neck, for Adidas to put their knee on my neck. All I ever wanted at Adidas, I left Nike because Nike wouldn't give me a percentage for my shoes when I had the Red October. And my girlfriend at the time was pregnant and I needed to get some money. Because if I was the kid that just had the red shoes, I could have never been a Black man wearing a red hat. When the like Nike would have shut me down immediately, right? But because Adidas was a German company, it gave me a little bit more room to be able to express myself and to actually have a political opinion as an American, that I wasn't forced into a political opinion because of the color of my skin. Now let's talk about the red hat, and let's talk about the similarities to the White Lives Matter t-shirt.
I love how he says the similarities to the White Lives Matter t-shirt. No, dude, you wore it. You wore the fucking shirt. Do you see how he's separating himself from these situations as if he didn't do it? It was just a situation that he was around. This is typical narcissistic activity right here.
The thing about the red hat that drove me to a point of exhaustion, which was misdiagnosed by I'm not going to say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media it went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
You notice he's like, I can't say that I went to this, and this, and I can't say that. And then he's all, it was a Jewish doctor. Like, he literally is like, I can't say it. Let me cross my hands and then, repeat it and then actually say it. That shit's fucking hilarious. I wanna see this again. Oh my god, the red hat made me do it. All clowns matter. He got pissed over his red Air Force One, so he went with Chucks from Germany. Watch him right here. I'm gonna put this play it again. He's like, I can't say it, and then he crosses his arms and then he proceeds to say it. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media it went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
What the fuck? Oh, this guy is crazy. At least he's fun to watch.
That diagnosed me of having a disorder that would have had me on medication right now. At a time like this, if I was on medication right now, then one pill could have been swapped out and it would be Michael Jackson and Prince all over again. But because I didn't take this diagnosis.
Another part of being in a manic episode of extreme bipolar is paranoia. Obviously, he was paranoid that he was going to be given drugs to be unalived, like what he considers what happened with Michael Jackson. So some more, I mean, you never know, but definitely paranoid part of a manic episode. So
and I didn't take the medication. I'm able to speak to you guys clear of thought and transparently. Now let me talk about the red hat. Wearing the MAGA hat, the way that Hollywood's political agenda attacked me and put me to a point of exhaustion was death by 1,000 cuts. Everyone would say something to me, from a driver to my ex-wife to Adidas. Everyone would say something. So when I wore that White Lives Matter, I said, I'm not going through this again. I'm not going. Hey, y'all gonna leave me alone about my t-shirt. Because what's the point of having influence and having money if people could come up and just pinch you?
But don't you think having influence, you have a responsibility?
And that's the responsibility that I'm taking right here.
Don't you think
that's why you asked that question?
But don't you think it's dangerous rhetoric to be anti-Semitic, to say all lives matter or white lives matter? No, I'm asking.
I'm saying white lives matter, anti-Semitic. That's what you just asked.
I'm not saying that's anti-Semitic.
No, you just said that though.
No, and I misspoke. But I'm saying
no, you didn't. That was a Freudian slip.
I'm trying to correct myself.
Okay, correct yourself.
To walk around with
do you want to walk back that statement?
Sure, I will.
You got the chance.
Walk back that statement.
Do you think maybe that? Do you think maybe
No,
that?
no,
the
wait a second. He's gonna walk back.
But I'm saying, you're wearing the White Lives Matter shirt, and Black Lives Matter, and a lot of people think that you're being anti-Black by saying
No, Kyle.
What?
Let him talk. In America, Black people don't take all the rights that we have that are actually given to us, because we weren't given what we were promised in the first place, which was the 40 acres. Instead, we were given
And a mule.
And a mule. Instead, we were given projects and bad food and posters of Oprah Winfrey, and also Planned Parenthood. People said to me multiple times, visit the Holocaust Museum. I said, visit our Holocaust Museum. It's called Planned Parenthood. 6 million Jews.
Whoa, he be tripping. I know that he goes and talks about how the abortions in the Black community is a lot. There's a lot more people getting abortions in the Black community than there are shootings or something like that. It's a wild statement. I'm not sure if it's even true or something, but yeah, he's being anti-IQ. I know it's not always paranoia is not always a symptom of bipolarness, but in manic episodes, you can be paranoid. There is paranoid. You can be paranoid while you're going through manic episodes. But yes, it's not always a bipolar symptom. There are definitely many symptoms of bipolar for sure. Not calling myself a doctor or anything like that. So, yeah. Oh.
If you go to Apple right now, go to Apple Music. Let's load up the top 10 songs. I guarantee you they're promoting Black serial killing.
Absolutely.
Not just one. They're promoting Black. The red media is making money off of Blacks being serial killers to each other. Also misogynistic. The red media is making money off of that. And God sees it. But I understand, and I'm not judging, because the oppressed becomes the oppressor. And it is our time now. Blacks are coming into money. We are not scared anymore. And I showed you that I crossed that line. They tried to bankrupt me. They tried to say I was crazy, and I'm alive. We haven't had a full
John,
Black.
absolutely. Like I said, I haven't looked into the actual statistics of it and like if the numbers that he's saying like are correct or anything, but exactly, it's generational poverty, and now that there's opportunities for poor women to be able to have access to abortions and not being forced to have children, when they when they have accidents or accidents happen a lot, especially in sex and stuff. Some people, some women, especially back then, didn't even, were forced into marriage and forced to stay with them for a really long time. And at least in the white community, but yeah, no, in the Black community, that the generational poverty that's been happening, and now they have the access to it. Of course, if you have the access to it and you have the choice, and you know that you cannot afford to be able to take care of a child, then yes, it is a very hard decision to make, but it is something that some women get the opportunity to make. So, and good on them for that, because Jesus Christ, living in the white, Christian conservative upbringing like I did, and I didn't even have that choice of not being taught anything about sex and saying I have to save myself for marriage and blah blah blah, and then going out into the real world and finding out that not everybody saves themselves for marriage anymore. It's like just not in those times. And so accidents end up happening, and then finding out that the abortion is, murder, and you can't do all of that. And then having to live, I had, I didn't have a choice. I had to have these kids no matter what. So, I wish I could have had them at a time when I was ready, instead of being forced to have them when, as they say, when God decides that he's ready, because when God decides that he's ready, I was not fucking ready. I'll tell you that. Like, fuck that fool for making, talk about an abuser, like forcing you to have this kid when you're not ready to. It's wild to me. And then they think that it's the right way to go. But yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. If yeah, I agree with the whole generational poverty, and now we have that access and the opportunity. So, this is just, Kanye and most conservatives just weaponizing the fact of opportunities for women to not be forced to have kids, beyond their control, and them just weaponizing that. So, and turning it against it, making it look evil and shit, like, oh, all these Black kids are dying.
Black communities since the gentrification of Harlem and Black Wall Street, which was torn down. But I know my brothers, my engineers, my architects, my farmers are going to rise up. And if it meant they had to take me and drag me like Emmett Till in front of everyone because I whistled, I know my brothers, my engineers.
He compared himself to Emmett Till as well. Emmett Till was killed for wrong reasons. Okay, something that he didn't even do. Poor little fucking. You're literally comparing yourself to a child right now who was murdered by the government because of something that he didn't even do, because of white girl tears. You're comparing you losing out of not being a billionaire and being a millionaire now, comparing yourself to that. How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you?
I have no reason to lie. My family was taken away from me. My reputation has been smeared.
Your family was taken away from you because of your choices. I'm sorry, I don't like the Kardashians, and I'm pretty sure Kardashians, I mean, from what I've heard, they do make people go crazy. These guys go crazy. But holy fucking shit, if Kim Kardashian, the worst of them, is telling you that she don't want to be with you no more, that means there's something wrong with you, because she can literally manipulate and ruin any man's life. But you made her quit. That was on you. Like, bro, there was something wrong with you with that. And you're saying that, you lost your family. There you go, otherizing yourself and separating yourself from the situation and not taking accountability for your actions. That maybe the fact that you were just too much to handle. Maybe you were, there's other things other than physical abuse. There's emotional abuse. There's verbal abuse. This guy, like, literally came into her life and started becoming her designer. Like, took out all of her clothes, got rid of all of her clothes, and bought her new ones and told her how to dress. I mean, even after they had broken up and started separating, he was still dressing her. That's narcissistic. That's super abusive right there. Like, you're controlling how she looks to make you happy. And now that she's out there wearing what she wants to wear, you're going around calling her a slut and a hoe and saying that she dresses like one. That's not verbal abuse. You're too much, dude. How are you going to sit there and still otherize yourself from that situation and not take accountability for what you fucking did to a woman?
So let's close with a prayer. Father God, thank you.
Fucking men. Here, Kanye's gonna sit here and pray, and I'm gonna agree with you, Jim. That being said, definitely need to pack a bowl for that. I can't. It's too much. Way fucking too much. All right, I think he opened his eyes now, so he's done praying.
Let's lead with love. I have no association to any hate group. If any hate happens upon any Jewish person, it is not associated, because I am demanding that everyone walk in love. Even though there's been things that have happened wrong to me that made me want to speak up, that you guys saw in the past 2 weeks. You saw the power. You saw Ari Emanuel come out in public and ask, if that happened in public, what do you think happened in private? And what do you think happened in private to so many people for so many years? But what I'm telling everyone, no matter what background you are, no matter what socioeconomic class you are, walk with love right now. Do what God would want. What would Jesus do? Walk with love, spread happiness. I thought that I wasn't gonna be like MLK and stand there. There's times I felt very Malcolm X. But for some reason, God has called me to love and to ask for love for everyone. It's time for us just to love, because love is the answer. It is the only way. Gandhi said, someone who was actually considered to be.
How are you going to say you're going to lead with love when you're still calling out all, these people's religions instead of calling out these business people, they're humans making capitalistic decisions. They're not religious people who are doing things because of religion. So it's wild to me. All right. Jim, can you send that to me in a text message somewhere that we talk? And I will read over it today, and I will do it tomorrow for sure. Hey, I love getting stuff to talk about. If you guys have anything that you want me to bring up and talk about and research, this is less work that I have to do. Like, once I find a subject, I can go and research, and I'm a female. Females have like FBI in our DNA. So we can find out anything. So if you want to send me something, an article or anything like that, and we talk on some kind of platform and we've already text messaged each other, just send it to me on there and I will get it and I will add it to my list and I will start doing the research and talk about it tomorrow. So yeah, no, for sure. Definitely will do it. And it's on marijuana too. So of course I'm down, I'm always trying to find new things to talk about instead of what everyone else is talking about. So hey, sometimes I feel like Malcolm X. That is not a chip on my shoulder. That is your boot on my neck. Right.
A racist.
I think we're
right?
done.
Gandhi said, "An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind." Jesus, Father God, spread the love. Put the love in our hearts. And
He's all an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind, and then he starts to pray. Do you not realize? Well, I mean, I guess Jesus did say, if you, or in the Bible, it does say if you turn a cheek to somebody who's hurting you, but it does say in there as well, there an eye for an eye. So kind of a little bit of a hypocrite, but that's Kanye for you. Hypocrisy in full action. So that's crazy. Okay. I only have like one more thing to do and it's really a fun one. So what I'm going to do is bring up the one that it's also fun as well. It's not a news article or anything. I just thought it was really, really interesting to see them covering this. Is this it? Hold on. Am I missing it? Where did it go? There it is. Okay. So I was scrolling through last night, just trying to find different things to watch for us to watch. And, like running out of interesting articles to talk about. So I wanted to start getting into a little bit of fun stuff, but I figure, okay, well, it's November, I still have that Dios de las Muertas one that we can watch for sure, but needed something else, maybe something else fun, not to do with Halloween and scary stuff. And I thought, well, yesterday we were talking about how my hometown is, full of racist and how, crazy it is out there and stuff like that. And so what was really interesting was Vice News came out with a video 2 days ago, which it just popped up on my recommendation page on YouTube. And it has to do with being homeless in the desert. And just so happens that the being home in the desert video that they are playing, this desert right here is my hometown. Welcome here to Lancaster, California. This is the beautiful area of Joshua trees, and that's pretty much about it. I do have to say, watching this video, it did not show like a lot of the, deep into the town of Lancaster, Palmdale. It's a lot of, you see these like open, wide spaces. So I know that like back there, that mountain view, and if you look right about there on that line, you'll see this white, almost like, white line of dirt. So I know that this is not facing towards Lancaster. They're trying to make it look a little more deserted than it actually is. where these people are homeless. So if you actually turned this camera around 180 degrees, you would see the towns of Lancaster and Palmdale. But because this is facing pretty much like the northeast of where this little area is, you're seeing out there, which would be like to the left in this area would be Roseman, California. And then out here in this area would be Edwards Air Force Base. So like this little white line right here is the dry lake bed that is out there by the Air Force Base. Usually used for testing for rockets, space shuttles. I believe we have the Challenger was done there because we have a road out there named Challenger Road. So yeah, they killed the indigenous. Look at every Christian boarding school. I know about the boarding schools and Christians and stuff. But I thought this was really interesting because Vice News just came out with it. We were talking about homelessness and how bad it is, and we were talking about my town, and this just kind of put two and two together of like, this is what they're doing to the homeless people in my town, and just goes to show how really conservative and racist and Republican Lancaster and Palmdale actually is. This is crazy to me that I know that there's homeless people out there in Lancaster, Palmdale. I just didn't know that this is what they were doing to them. And it's so fucking wrong and it's pathetic. And you're going to see a lot of things that I was talking about this week about my town. How many things that I was actually, telling the truth on with this video, you can see and it'll show it. So yeah, this is my town, my hometown, born and raised. I just moved away from here about 9 years ago. So yeah, here we go.
I think a lot of us have been out here for multiple years, kind of gotten used to it. The summers out here are brutal and the winters are unforgiving. You got a hose. No.
About 40 miles north of Los Angeles is the city of Lancaster. And just beyond that is where Jeff Vangari has lived for the last 9 years.
It sucks. It's definitely fun and games. Especially being all the way out here out of town. It's hard to get anywhere to get food or drink. I just go out that way.
Vangari doesn't have a car or running water, which means whenever he can get a ride into town, he takes it.
I go usually probably once or twice a week and fill up one or two of those 55-gallon drums.
This is about as close to the city as they're going to show you in this video. I mean, here you can see it's just regular neighborhoods. Everything's pretty much flat land. All the houses are the same size. It's pretty much just a basic city town that's all flat. Like there's not a lot of high rise. There's no high rises or anything. I think the highest buildings in the entire town is the courthouse, which is, I believe, 4 stories high. And Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin also have huge swaths of land out there, and their buildings are about 4 stories high as well because they have to be able to fit airplanes and jets and stuff inside of them, multiples of them. They own huge areas. So those are the 3 tallest buildings in the entire town is Lockheed, Northrop, and the courthouse. So it's just pretty much, this is it. It's like desert towns out there. So you have a friend who used to live there but moved to Arizona a couple of years ago for the cost of living. Yeah, a lot of people out in Lancaster, Palmdale have all moved to either Arizona or Texas that I know. At least the people that I know, that are used to live out there. So a lot of people are moving away. But there's still, it's definitely still got some people living out there. I mean, my sister and her family still live there. I go out there and visit there at least 2 or 3 times a year to go hang out with my sister and stuff, and we'll stay for a week or so every time. So I'm still out there. I still see friends out there. I mean, this is the place I was born and raised at, so it's like my hometown. I know way too many people in this area.
You use it for everything. bathrooms, cleaning up dishes, cooking, everything. I think the hardest part about living out here is trying to stay out of your own head. It's not like I woke up one day and said, hey, I want to go live in the desert and make life 1,000 times more difficult for myself. Circumstances led up to it, and I haven't quite figured out the circumstances that'll get me out of it yet, I guess. Okay. Good enough. Yep.
Vangari is homeless, and out here, he's not alone.
So driving around this part of the desert, you see encampments in pretty much every direction. Some of them are larger groupings of trailers, and others are individuals out on their own with nobody around.
Hundreds of people without homes live in this part of the Mojave Desert, unincorporated land just beyond Avenue G, one of the city limits of Lancaster.
Ooh. It just changed as soon as I was wanting to do it. Why you got to do it like that? So there's the city of Lancaster all down here in this area. And then once you get up to the, like, so this line right here is the main freeway in between the whole city. And so it just keeps going north. And so once you go out north, out towards, you know, like this top area above the top of the screen is the town of Roseman. And then out here is Edwards Air Force Base. So all of this area in between is
Beyond
just
Avenue G.
is just nothing but desert. Like literally absolutely nothing but just open desert, just wildlife. There's nothing out there. I mean, right here on Avenue G out in this little area is called, there's an Apollo Park. There's a park there. But that's pretty much the gist of it. I mean, if you want to take your kids out there, you know, you make it a day trip, you go out there from the town and you go and travel, you take a picnic basket, you know, some food and stuff like that, or you have birthday parties there and stuff. So, and I think they have like one of the Apollo spaceship capsules there that's all like glassed up. So it's like a dedicated park to the spaceships that went to the moon. But there's literally nothing out here. I mean, literally what you see right here, like these lines and stuff, are just dirt roads. I mean, this is one main road, this is the freeway, this is a main road, but all of these are like dirt roads. These are not actual real paved roads or anything.
One of the city limits of Lancaster.
Were you ever within the city limits?
Yeah.
And why did you move out here?
Pretty much told by law enforcement that the only way not to be messed with, i.e. our camps ransacked or bulldozed or even burnt down, would be to move north of G, which G is that street right there. Law enforcement just treated us like dirt, you know, and they just wanted us out of their city.
So you feel like you were really pushed out of the city?
Not feel like we were.
More than half of all unsheltered people in the U.S. live in California. In LA County, authorities have prioritized crackdowns on encampments and sweeping homeless people off the streets and out of sight. But since they've had little to no success in addressing the root of the problem, encampments just pop up somewhere else. Lancaster is an especially tough place to be unhoused. Homeless people make up 1% of the population, but receive 25% of the city's citations. The mayor has called homeless people criminals and thugs, and even suggested residents arm themselves in defense.
We are not going to look like LA.
Remember this face. Never forget this face. I have a feeling like this guy is just going to keep getting higher and higher, and he's going to go for a really high political job, probably, you know, congressman, senator, things like that. I really feel like this guy really wants to get up to somewhere. So this is our mayor. Well, their mayor of the town. His name is RX Paris. Good morning or good afternoon, Yona. Good to see you. His name is RX Paris. He's the mayor of this town. The thing that that I really fucking despise about this man is just like in the worst way possible, has gotten rich and has gotten up to his position. So before he was the mayor of Lancaster, he was an attorney, but he was an accident attorney. So he was a lawyer for people who were victims of car accidents, motorcycle accident victims. So he got a job as a lawyer where he knew he was going to win every case, which gives you a reputation of being a really good lawyer because you constantly win. Totally gypped it. Like, that's totally unfair. How are you going to be a lawyer just for accidents to where you know you're going to win every single fucking case? Like, that's super, super unfair and janky. And I think that a lot of people do that, especially when you see like those accident lawyers. That's what they do. Now, this guy took it a whole nother level and decided, after years and years and years of being able to be a successful lawyer, like, he ended up buying a huge ass warehouse that used to be a furniture store. Like, it literally sold furniture. It was a warehouse for furniture, and he bought this building just for his lawyer office. That's how much money he got. Bought himself a house in the gated off community in the rich area of town, and because he was so well known, because of his name was all over billboards for years and years of being the accident attorney, he ended up when he ran for mayor, ended up winning, and now he's just been the mayor of that town. I can't fucking stand him. I think he's been horrible. He's super conservative. Obviously, as you could see, he is the reason why people think the way they think in that town. Like, I mean, he's just the spitting image of that town. When he's there, we just read that little article right before he came on where it says, you know, that these homeless people are criminals and thugs, and that you should arm yourself against them. I have personally heard people myself out there have said that themselves, that they're criminals, they're thugs, they need them out of town, that they, you know, I've put up empathetic post on my Facebook, and my friends of mine from high school, like, that I have out there, they're my age, are saying, like, spitting what he's saying, like, that they're just disgusting and they're thugs and they're just like, they don't need to be around. When I'm like posting up like, hey, I'm helping, you know, feed the homeless today, or I went and, you know, gave the homeless a bunch of, you know, muffins or something like that. I think I remember I did, or I was talking about these cool guys that were dressed up like superheroes and would go feed the homeless out in Lancaster, and I was like, these are such cool people. And in my comment section, in the replies and shit in Facebook, I would just have people my age saying, like, these are thugs, there's criminals, these guys are disgusting, get them out of, you know, get them out of our town. It's absolutely horrible the way that these people out in Lancaster think, and I'm so disappointed in the fact that I used to call these people friends, and this is how they think. It's just gross, and this town just loves it. They just eat it up. They continue with it. They don't stop.
You're not going to have people parked on the sidewalks.
Donnie? Hello? Hello, hello. All right, I brought over as many waters as would fit in my purse, but there's actually more.
Eve Garrow has spent years analyzing Southern California's homeless policies and police practices.
People think of banishment as some kind of archaic practice, but you ask unhoused people, and it happens to them all the time. The difference is that out here, they're being told to go deep into the Mojave Desert. And a lot of these people are very vulnerable, you know. I mean, I worry about them surviving out here.
Most citations given to homeless people in Lancaster are for things like camping, loitering, or panhandling, infractions that the ACLU considers as criminalizing homelessness.
Who is responsible for what's happening out here?
The city of Lancaster is not friendly towards people who are unhoused. They don't treat this as a humanitarian crisis. They don't treat it as a housing crisis. They treat unhoused people as if they are criminals when their only crime is not having enough income to afford, say, a $2,000 a month, you know, one-bedroom apartment.
So when they came through with a bulldozer. They started over there and at the end of the way down there, and they just started sweeping everything down towards the end.
Sarah Odom lost her job and became homeless last year. 3 months ago, the city came to bulldoze the camp she was living in.
No, I'm standing my ground. I'm not going to move. I'm not going to move. Do you guys have a phone? Can you record it? So as I'm arguing with public safety and the police, I decided, okay, fine. I grabbed all my stuff together and just threw it over the wall because I was like, I don't want my stuff to get, it's all I kind of pretty much have left. So I just
You didn't want it to get bulldozed.
No.
Police still do regular sweeps of the area, but Odom refuses to leave.
This thing is pretty stripped from everybody kind of using it.
Oh, I see.
But you just got to really get like a good grip on it. And
Whoa.
yeah. So this is how I try not to waste too much water. California is in a drought.
Have you gotten citations?
I've gotten illegal camping tickets. I've gotten 4, and I fought them all in court. Because if I say that I'm guilty of illegal camping, it means I'm guilty of a crime. Being homeless is not a crime. So public safety, they're like code enforcement, right? So when they were out with law enforcement during the sweep, they are the ones that told me to my face, oh yeah, just go out in the middle of, past Avenue G. We won't bother you there. We don't bother any of you guys out there. You can go be homeless out there if you want. And I'm like,
And that means going to the desert.
that means going out into the desert where there's nothing and nothing for miles. I don't have a car. I'm walking in flip-flops as it is. And I don't want to be segregated from society. I want to get back into working. And how am I supposed to do that in an area where there's nothing for miles?
Oh, she ain't lying. She is not lying. This poor fucking girl. I can't, I feel so bad for her. Wow. I can't even imagine what they're going through out there in Lancaster. At least the homeless population out there. I mean, I know a couple of homeless people out there, but they're not living out past Avenue G. And that's wild to me that these cops and these, enforcers are like, just go out there and we won't bug you at all. Like they're literally trying to force these homeless people to move out into the middle of the desert to get them outside of town. So they're not in town, so that way people don't have to look at them. It's so sad. Are these, I don't, that's a good question. I have no idea if these people are born in the town. I mean, I know that when I've been homeless, this is the town that I was homeless in. I have slept in a box, in a cardboard box behind an Albertsons in this town. I have slept in my car in multiple parking lots in this town. I have been extremely homeless in this town, and I was born there. So there is people there that are born in that town that are homeless. It's gotten a lot bigger. It used to be a smaller town back in, the 70s and the 80s. It was a lot smaller, and it's just grown immensely. But it just keeps growing outwards more and more and more, and it looks like a lot of the at least parts of the towns where they're expanding is more like, 2-story homes, middle class homes. And the ones that aren't really expanding is like the low class trailer parks that are out there. So yeah, water is life. Absolutely. Completely agree. It's like one of my number one things I fight for. So
I feel like it's so easy to get lost out there. They just want us gone. They want to sweep us under the rug. And I'm sorry, but I refuse to be swept under a rug.
Policing in Lancaster is handled by the LA County Sheriff's Department. When we reached out for this story, the local deputies declined to speak with us. But the LASD did let us film with their Homeless Outreach Services team, or HOST. It's a relatively small unit tasked with connecting homeless people to services. Their deputies claim to have never made an arrest or used force.
So today we're going to do a ride-along with the homeless outreach team of the LA Sheriff's Department as they go into the desert and talk to the people living out there.
Look at how new these things look. There's like not even barely any, there's like no dirt on it. You know, these motherfuckers have never actually pulled these things out and used them the entire time that they've had them. They're just like, oh yeah, we get all this extra money from the government, probably the PPP loans and shit from like the cocoa virus times. They got like a bunch of fucking money because I heard LA County got like super loaded with money. Instead of giving it to people that actually needed it, they gave it to the Los Angeles Police Department, and these guys are part of LA County, so I'm pretty sure this was part of the pandemic budget right here, and they just never have pulled them out and used them because these look way too fucking clean to ever even think that they've been used. And yeah, it's crazy. Let's see, Lancaster, California is so corrupt they fucked up the entire California high-speed rail project by pulling the route to the far east of LA through their patch of desert. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they did, because the west side of Lancaster is where it could have gone through easier, like just a straight shot. Is the rich area that I was saying, where they are expanding in the rich area. So they wanted to move it over to the east side of Lancaster, where I said it's not really expanding because there's a lot of poor areas out there. I'm pretty sure they were just wanting to move everything to get rid of the poor, so that way they can just have all the middle class homes from the west side. And that sounds like something they would definitely do.
We're a humanitarian effort. We're not traditional law enforcement, and we realize traditional law enforcement doesn't work when dealing with the homeless population.
Lieutenant William Kitchen leads host operations in this part of the county.
How long you been out here in the desert? 5 years? Well, I think you're a beautiful young woman, and I kind of worry about you out here. How long you been out here, Bruce?
8 years.
8 years. Are you working with any homeless service provider out here? No? Are you struggling with anything right now?
No.
Drugs, alcohol, or anything? Good for you.
I'm clean. Just working, just trying to stay. It's just hard.
If you need anything, just reach out. Cool?
It's definitely nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, brother.
So they're sitting there asking them their name and then how long they've been out there. Like, if you guys go out there on a regular basis and you actually talk to the people out there, you would know their names. You would already know how long they've been out there, because you would have already been helping them. It sounds like that's the first time you've ever been there, dude. And you can obviously tell by this dude, he doesn't even like trust them or anything.
Do you trust the LA Sheriff's Department to help you out of your situation?
It's not so much a trust issue, because trust was taken away a long time ago. That's something that's going to take a while to be built.
Have you ever seen this team out here before?
Not like this.
Not like this.
What's different about today?
Normally it's like trying to get us to do something or follow their rules or try to make something happen, or it's not like, normally like out here to help us or like, check on us. You already pushed this way out here. It's like, how you wouldn't come out here and deal with us too. It's like, where else can we go? And that's the big thing. It's like, what do you do? Where do you go?
So when we show up, you were out with us today. Did you feel any tension between the police and the people that were out there?
No, but we were also out there with cameras though, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, but we're out there every day, so there's no tension. We bring the services to them where we are, and we just try to make that human connection.
He's such a goddamn liar. If he was telling the truth and he said he was out there every day and that was the truth, then he would have already known all their names, because that one guy's been out there for like 8 years. Come on now. Come on.
Touch it all with the deputies here in Lancaster, who some people say are encouraging them to move out into the desert.
We are in touch with them. The local deputies who work this geographic area all the time keep in touch, and they'll call them and ask them to go to certain areas and see what the needs are.
Don't you think, though, that the local deputies could be contributing to the problem if they're advising people, as many homeless people have told us, to go outside of the city limits?
Sure, that could be the case. I don't know if the truth to it, or if someone, you know, a deputy sheriff basically said you can't be here based on where they were.
Well, people we spoke with who are living out there said, we feel like we've been pushed out here by the LASD.
If that is happening by deputy sheriffs, I would highly discourage it.
Do you think?
Like he don't fucking know. Come on, Mr. Thumb-looking motherfucker. You know he's part of them too. This guy is just so full of himself. Such a goddamn liar.
That the LA Sheriff's Department bears any responsibility for helping make this problem worse in the first place?
I think we all have responsibility, whether it be overt or not overt. I think this crisis has exploded. It impacts communities. It impacts every corner of the county.
Bruce Whittinghill lives in the desert and was approached by Host. He agreed to be taken to Lancaster's main shelter complex.
Hi, Bruce. Proud of you, brother.
Now, this shelter complex thing that they're going to be taking this guy to, I have never seen before. This is all new stuff to me. So it seems pretty legit. It looks like it's still out on the edge of town where the prison is. So I'm not sure where exactly it's at, but at least they've got some kind of temporary to permanent long-term housing for these people. They definitely need to make more, though, instead of booting these guys out of town like this.
The Kensington campus is a 14-acre housing facility with 300 rooms for permanent and transitional housing. Whittinghill was offered a spot in the temporary shelter.
How does it feel to be here now?
I've got expectations to a certain extent, and I don't feel like I'm being crowded or corralled or anything like that, or forced to be here. I'm actually happy in the fact that I've got the opportunity to be here. It gives me a little breathing time.
So what the city is offering people is long-term shelter living. Part of the model of Kensington campus is permanent supportive housing. It's filled up, and for folks like this, I don't think that's accessible either.
What is the solution?
Real housing. These policy decisions to disinvest in affordable housing go back a few decades and have been the result of neglect by all levels of government. Outreach and services will not end houselessness. Housing will end houselessness.
Amen, girl. Like, tell me that bitch is not fucking on point. She is fire right there. Like, yeah, yep, that's exactly it. That's literally the answer. It's super simple, like the acronym or whatever, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. It's exactly what it is. You have housing problem, make more houses. Why do all this extra stuff, booting people out, bulldozing their homes, kicking them to the edge, making them even worse off than they already were, to a point to where they feel like they can't even get any further in life and don't even want to because it's not worth it, and they're just old and tired and they're just giving up and they're done. But no, you just could answer it so simply by giving them a home. So fucking simple.
What? That one's already done. I'm just gonna dig another hole over here. So, digging a trash hole, because another way that the city makes it a lot more difficult for us is if we're seen by a cop putting our trash into a dumpster, so it's actually taken to the city dump, we get ticketed and fined for it.
Yeah, see, now that's another thing that pisses me off too. That's actually out here as well. That they do as well out. I swear it's got to be like just all over California or something that they do it, because I'm not even in LA County. I'm in a different county, and we still have to deal with the same thing. If you take your personal trash, like just a bag of trash, and put it in a dumpster, whether it's a dumpster out on a street, whether it's a dumpster in an apartment complex or one behind, a store, any dumpster that's open and, to the supposed to be for, whatever is the area. If you even try to use it, you will, and the police see you, you will be ticketed and fined for using it. So you're pretty much getting punished for doing good for the environment. This is why when you see a lot of people in LA and you see a lot of videos of homeless people in California with trash around them, this is the reason why, is because they are punished for using dumpsters. They are fined and ticketed. So their trash piles up because they have nowhere else to take it. They can't take it anywhere. It's not like, you can pay for the trash man to come get it when you don't have a fucking home. So, like, even in my own situation here, I have to use my neighbor's trash cans to take out my trash because my landlord here doesn't want to pay for the trash man to come and pick up the trash. So we don't have trash pickup. What are we supposed to do? Just pile up trash everywhere all over the house until my house is just full of trash, rats, then you get mice and rat problems and all that other things that come with it. It's a horrible situation that these homeless people are in, and it's because that's one of the reasons why they're in these disgusting, rat drug infested or dirt trash infested areas, is because they can't fucking take out the trash. So it is statewide. Okay, good to know. Yeah, no, they definitely make homeless camps criminal in Texas too. Yeah, in California, and I believe they do it in New York as well. So it's just everywhere. It's really, really sad.
Goes the whole little cycle.
They turn them into criminals, exactly.
And getting arrested, going to jail, and it all stems from trying to do the right thing and put our trash in a dumpster. For a lot of us, you just kind of want to be left alone, really. For the most part, we try to stay out of everybody else's way. Really, if a homeless person isn't breaking any laws and they're not, harming anybody, just leave us alone.
Do you want to get out of here?
Of course. It's just a matter of when I'll be ready.
When will you know when you're ready?
That I don't know. I'm old and tired. I'm not really that old.
I gotta give it to this guy though. He is wearing an 805 hat. So this guy definitely has to be old school Lancaster reppin', because probably when Y2K around the year 2000, 2001, 2002, somewhere around there, we had switched from being 805 to 661 area code. And so him having the 805 and repping that means that he is most likely very, very old school Lancaster, California, for sure. So only old school people rep that. I still remember one time when I was 13, 14 years old, and we had just switched it and it had just changed. And I saw some guy with a tattoo on his arm, and it was a phone number, because back then we didn't have cell phones. So this guy had tattooed this phone number on his arm so he wouldn't forget it. And it was an 805 area code number. And I was like, so what are you doing with that, with that phone number now that it's 661? He's like, I just forget about it. One day I'm going to cover it up. But I just thought it was super, super funny that he had an 805 tattoo on there, and we just changed to 661. I'm like, wonder what he's doing now with that tattoo. I wonder if he covered it up or if he's still repping the 805. So yeah, this guy's definitely old school Lancaster, probably had a good job and all that other stuff and lost it, because it's super hard to live out in Lancaster. It's super expensive. It's just getting even more expensive. Even the low income areas are just super hard to live in and affordable. Even back when I lived there, I moved out of Lancaster in 2012, I believe. And in that point, when I had first met my husband and we were first dating, I had just moved back in with my mom because I couldn't afford living out there. I went from having an apartment with, actually I started off with, a house, really nice house. Me and my sister split it in half. It had a beautiful gazebo in the backyard. It was 2 living rooms. It was a beautiful house. And then I went down, a year later, I went down to a 2-bedroom apartment, but both bedrooms were master bedrooms with their own bathroom. So it was really nice. I had my own room. My kid had her own room with a bathroom. So it was really good. And then about a year and a half later, I think that's when the 2008, 2009 collapse happened. that's when we ended up having to move into a 1-bedroom apartment for me and her, and stayed there for a couple of years, and then just couldn't afford that anymore, and moved in with my mom. And then that's when I met my husband. So even for somebody like me, just a single parent, with 1 kid, was almost impossible to live in Lancaster, even back in 2012, about 10 years ago. So I can only imagine, how bad it is. I mean, even my sister, who's lived in the same house for the last 10 to 12 years, who still is living out there right now, is homeless, like I was saying yesterday, with her 2 kids. She's luckily able to have a friend's house that she can stay at, because her friend's husband still has a really good job. He works at Paramount, so he's got a really nice big house for them to all live in. It is definitely super packed, even for a big house like that. It's just one of those typical 2-story middle-class houses. So it's, my sister, her husband, their 4 kids, and then her friend's husband and their 2 kids, all in this house, living together. All boy kids within the ages of like 2 years old all the way up to 17. So it's a lot of boys living in that house. My sister and her friend, I really pity and feel bad for right now. But even she's homeless and can't find a place because it's super unaffordable to even live there. And the house that she was living at for 10 plus years ended up just selling the house from underneath her, because they figured they would get more money out of selling it or renting it, or maybe Airbnb-ing it, or whatever they wanted to do with it, instead of having my sister and her kids live there, which they've lived there for so long. So it's definitely really hard to live out in Lancaster, California. I'll tell you that much. You need your own area code. 666 is your area code. That's right. Can I be in your area code? I want to be in it. Housing is absolutely a right. I think this is pretty much almost done. Let's see what this guy says as a top.
Desert ages you.
I'm Michael Learmonth, editor-in-chief of Vice News. Too often, traditional news outlets shy away from the real stories and experiences of the.
Okay, that was it. The last thing he said was the desert ages you, which it absolutely does age you. That place is the devil's armpit. It's a hellhole. That place is shite. I hate it so much. But it does have all my friends and family there too, so I can't hate on it too much. But that's Lancaster. That's the homeless problem out there. It's obviously as bad as you can imagine it is. Definitely the people out there are they just don't care about homeless. They're very racist, or not racist, I guess, just very classist about it. They look down on it. They don't want it there. They don't want to have to look at it. Even the mayor was saying, arm yourself against them, as if they're some kind of criminals and they're going to hurt you. Like, absolutely not. Do I look like a criminal? Do I look like somebody that would hurt somebody? So it doesn't make sense. They're just otherizing these poor people. So yeah. Would be your, okay, that's right. I'm part of the 666 crew now. Awesome. Okay, that is that. See, we got 30 minutes, and this Dios de los Muertos video is 20 minutes. I don't think I'm going to have time to do it. Darn it. Who do we have having videos or coming out with videos today? Do we know who's going to be live streaming? We can talk about that. I don't see any subscriptions of anyone coming or scheduling anything coming. I don't see. Let me put some music on. It always makes me feel weird. Here we go. All right, starting to get to the end of the show. I'm pretty sure Hardlands Media is going to be on soon. Probably around 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm not seeing anything else that's coming. It looks like Sabby Saps has a show. I know she's got a clip coming up. Yeah, she's just releasing clips. Okay. I mean, she probably will have a show as well. It is Wednesday. Or do you guys see anything that's coming up? I'm going through my subscriptions. I'm just not seeing anything. Oh, looks like Punch Up Pod is going to be on today at 5 p.m. Pacific. That's going to be cool. It looks like they're talking about swing left. I don't know. It looks like a dead Twitter with Twitter bird with an arrow. But that's with Layla and Pat. Pat's really awesome. I've got to meet Pat once at a convention. I've got to work with him a couple of times for some like on the ground live streaming before. He's really awesome. Very sweet, kind guy. I've given him some on-screen training before back then, so he's doing really good. I really enjoy their show. I definitely want to get to watching them a little bit more often. Okay, so Heartlands Media is going to start in about 30 minutes. Sweet. I know, I'm looking for it and I'm not seeing it in my subscription, so maybe they just haven't put out the notification for it yet. So yeah, definitely go check out Heartlands Media in about 30 minutes. That's pretty much where I'm going to be. So while I edit and clip up these videos, that's what I like to do, is sit down and watch some Heartlands Media. It looks like on the 5th of November, so that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're going to have Patrick Lovell's Truth Bombs, Cathartic Movement, Can We Do It? What is this one about? We need to generate a cathartic movement. That's going to be at 3 p.m. Pacific on Saturday with us. Tomorrow is going to be Joe Evans' show, the Cup of Joe show. So definitely check out that. I like to go hang out in Twitch when he does that show because it's a lot of fun. So thank you, Yona. It's a lot of work. Super appreciate that you appreciate it. You don't understand how much work it is. Sometimes I'm like, is it even worth it? But it is. It absolutely is. I know it's hard to take in 4 hours, so it's definitely my pleasure to be able to clip it up. And maybe one day when I feel like I have more time, I'll clip it up to make it even funner. So it's just, I gotta time manage myself and try not to wear myself down a little bit. I would hate to be like a month or two in and just start giving up. So I'm trying to take it as easy as I can. Who else? Ooh, it looks like Jimmy Dore talked about Seth Rich. Was released 4 hours ago. What else do we got? We were just talking about all that kind of stuff today too. It looks like that's about all I can see that's coming up. Doesn't look like yesterday anybody put anything up for today, so. Okay. So yeah, in about 30 minutes, go check out Heartlands Media. Hold on, Heartlands Media. Open this up. Oh, cool. You guys got your own little CC now. Hell yeah. I know, Yona, you have yeah, I know it's tedious. I know it is. You got a show this week too, right? On Friday? So go check out Heartlands Media. There's the link to their page. Yeah. They're doing awesome. Wow, I didn't even realize they've got over 40,000 subscribers. Damn. Coming up in the world. If you guys ever need help over there, with like thumbnails and stuff. Let me know. You guys are doing great. Yeah, I mean, you guys are, wow, 2.4 thousand views. You guys are fucking rocking it. Damn. Even your shorts are doing great. That's what I want to get into next, is doing shorts. That'll be a lot of fun. Friday night at 11 p.m. anti-nuke party with Shadow Band and friends. There you go. Ooh, anti-nuke party. That's gonna be fun. That's right. Definitely gonna be there, because then we'll do you at 11 and then Warren at midnight. So that's always fun. I love Friday nights on YouTube. You guys all make it. We all make it so much fun. I'm all like, you guys make it fun. I totally forgot I'm on Friday nights with Warren. So. I guess I'm part of the fun too. Woo! Yay! Okay. So yeah, go check out Yona's page. Yona's gonna be on Friday. Go check out Harlan's Media. They're gonna be on in about 30 minutes. Then is like Indy gonna be on tonight? I mean, like Reef show. Wednesday. I thought Reef does something on Wednesday. Doesn't he? They don't even have me subscribed to Reef either. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, I'm not seeing streamed 2 weeks ago, so it doesn't even look like he streamed last week. INN News tonight. Okay, see, there we go. I'm like trying to find it, figure out which one it was. Okay. INN News tonight with Reef and Colin. All right, cool. So we got some news tonight. That's good. Definitely enjoying that. Just did a show with Franco earlier. Ooh, dial 988 for help when needed. Absolutely. For sure. We just talked about that website a couple of months ago when they were getting it started. So it's really good that it's being used now. So, okay. So yeah, go check out INN. I like to watch it on their main channel. That's how I watch it. I'll put it in here. That way you guys can go check out their main channel. They're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers like we are, so definitely try to hook them up, get them going. They got their new show tonight. I know Warren put some of his shows on there as well. I'm seeing like his Booyah Halloween one from a day ago, from Monday night was on there. So they also got Jessie Jett, who's extremely talented. They got Colin over there, who's really talented. They have Tara's show, super informative. She's a very she's a sweetheart. She's absolutely a doll. Then they've got, who else does shows over there? I mean, Indy does his show, of course, over there. I think it's like the How Do You Miss That on Sundays. And so Reef and Colin is doing theirs tonight. Reef is awesome. He's a sweetheart and a half. Really sweet guy. There's a lot of really sweet guys over there. They also got like Joe does videos over there, the STFU shit lib, does some really cool compilation videos over there. And then I do the thumbnails for him. So yay. Looks like I've done about 21 so far on the playlist. So I believe that's it. Okay, so then tonight, check out or keep an eye out for indie news. And in about 24 minutes, go check out Harlan's Media. I'll see you guys over there in the comments section. And I am going to get out of here because I'm poopered. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm done. Let me say goodbye to all of you guys. Miguel, thank you for coming by. Yona, thank you for stopping by. Definitely we'll see you on Friday. If you've got any new music stuff or anything like that, let me know and I can put it into the show. I'm thinking about doing like a halfway intermission type thing, so where I can go to the bathroom. So that would be really fun to have like a cool little song or something here and there and check it out. Warren, thank you for coming. You know I love you. Jim, thank you for stopping by. Holly, John, Dolores was here. I know she was here earlier. Lust Bones, thank you. The guy that I can't say because he has a racist name. Thanks for stopping by. My Fortnite friends, Josh and Sally, thank you for coming by. Amber and saying hi. Brandy, thank you for saying hi and coming by. And I believe that's it. All right, cool. All right, all of you are saying goodbye. Got new stuff? All right, cool. I will definitely check it out and put it on there tomorrow. Thank you so much for sending it to me. All right. Let me get out of here before I continue talking, and I will talk to you all later. Have a good day. Bye.